Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
Yo, and welcome in to OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 11:30 a.m. The Tiger up in the Port City, 94.7 ESPN in Alexandria. Jake, Alondra, and Cassie here with you on this Thursday morning. Good news is Thursday got here quick. Some more good news. We can start the weekend vibes if we want to here on the show. Some more good news is we get a long weekend. Some bad news is Alondra's going to be stuck with Tay-Tay all week next week.
Just ruined my weekend.
I did. We were talking before the show, and we were kind of trying to hype each other up. Like, dude, this week's going by fast. Everything's going great. And I was like, yeah, but you got Taylor by yourself next weekend.
And Jordan.
Or next week, all week. Not even the weekend,
No,
all week.
But and Jordan is
You at least get Cassie one day, though.
One day I get Cassie at
Yeah, I'll
least.
be here Tuesday.
Yes.
Thank God for that.
Wednesday and Thursday, it is going to be take on take on take. I'll be back Friday.
Oh, you're going to be back Friday.
I'll be back Friday.
Thank God.
Yes.
So it's
Just
only
2
Wednesday
days.
and
It's just
Thursday
2
that I have to
Yeah,
do
just
Jordan
Wednesday and Thursdays.
Tay-Tay. Okay.
Oh, that's true. See?
Okay, not too bad.
It's getting better.
That is like a weekend, though.
It is getting better. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 2 days a
Yeah,
weekend.
it's getting better. Friday, I'll be back. I don't know. No, Flynn's not going to be here.
No,
I mean, because he
definitely not.
starts like officially official on that Monday. But I do
Yeah.
think he's coming back tomorrow.
Okay. That'd
So
be cool.
tomorrow's show is kind of turned into a QB show.
Okay.
Aaron Murray,
Oh, yeah.
Colt McCoy,
Yeah.
Flynn. We'll see if we can add one or two more quarterbacks. I was supposed to actually catch up with Tyler Shuck last night.
Oh, I meant to ask you that earlier.
Yeah, he was like still in meetings like late, and he's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry." He hit me with the sir.
Ooh.
It's fine. I'm a man. I'm 40.
True.
And I was like, okay, well, look, let's push. Like, I remember being a rookie,
Yeah.
and you're swimming in it. You're trying to stay at the facility, and I was starting fullback. You're probably starting quarterback.
Yeah.
A little bit different there. So eventually, we're gonna have Tyler Shuck. Was talking with him yesterday, and maybe he can add himself to the quarterback show. I don't know. But today's show, also, we've got a lot going on. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, who he did pick LSU to win a national championship. He's joining us at 7:30. We've got LSU offensive coordinator Joe Sloan joining us at 8. We've got head baseball coach Jay Johnson at 8:30. We've got Munchie still with Chef Michael Johnson. So we have a ton to get to. But before we get there, like, how is everybody going? Thursday, Taylor in the future, kind of put a little
Taylor.
a little bit of weight on Alondra, but finding out
it's
it's
fine.
only 2 days, like,
Yeah.
feels like we're
That
back
made it a
in
little
good
better.
spirits.
Yeah. And I am ready for the long weekend. I don't know if Hanny's going to make me come up here on Monday. I help him with the Hanny cast.
Is that
So
just Hanny?
it's Hanny, Dan Canaveri, and Doug Thompson.
Oh, Cano. I hadn't thought about Cano in a long time.
Yeah, so it's a hoot, a real fun time.
A hoot.
but
Feels
yeah,
like
ready
something
for
they
the
would
long
say on
weekend.
that podcast.
I know.
It's a hoot.
It's a hoot, yeah. Somebody told me that I answer the phone like a 40-year-old man the other day, so it's fine. All I say is hello. I don't know what is wrong with that, but
I'm trying to think now because I have talked to you on the phone before.
yeah.
Whenever I'm
I just say
away and I
hello.
call in. Sometimes I can tell, Alondra's not having a good day. You don't hide it very well. I can tell you that.
Man,
But I don't think it's like
I
a
try to.
40-year-old. And what's wrong with answering the phone like a 40-year-old?
nothing's wrong with that.
Okay. You said it like it was a bad thing.
No, I'm just not that.
All right.
I'm just not 40 or a man.
That's true. True on both accounts. Cassie, all good? Doing well? How's waking up back-to-back mornings?
Yesterday I was doing good, but this morning was a little rough to wake up.
She's here
Yeah.
tomorrow,
I-
too.
I am here tomorrow. I snoozed my alarm one too many times this morning.
What time do we set the alarm if we're doing OTB?
I set it for 5:45 because I
Okay.
only live like in the morning with no traffic. It's only like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll usually leave like 5:50, 5:55.
Wait.
I mean, you're rolling out of bed.
Yeah.
That's quite literally. I leave myself just enough time to wake up, get dressed, brush my teeth, and leave.
Like, you probably got like the clothes, toothbrush.
Yes.
Is the toothpaste on the toothbrush?
Ready.
No, not yet.
I mean,
But like I sleep as long as possible.
that's fair. That's fair. I do like this time of the year when nobody's in school.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes me like 14 minutes
Yeah, 'cause
to get from my house all the way here, when normally it's like, it could be like 28, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about double the time. So I do appreciate I can hit snooze at least once.
I feel like maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I feel like kids go to school way earlier than I used to. Like, what time do your kids get to school?
7:25, 7:30.
I feel like I didn't
We
get
were
to
8.
school
We didn't
until
start till
8.
8 when I was
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We were 8 to 3.
Yeah. Because
And then as I got older, it was 8 to 2:45.
yeah.
Yeah. They have to be there. They start at 7:40.
We started at like 7:50, 7:40.
Yeah.
Really? I think it was like 8, and then when we got to high school, it was 9.
Oh, 9?
Yeah.
What y'all doing in Texas?
Chilling.
Must be nice.
It was
So nobody's going to be surprised by this, but the first class that we had when I was in high school was football.
I feel like that was if you were in football, wouldn't that always be your, or I don't know.
Well, my son, I think he's actually like seventh
Last?
hour, like whatever
In
that
the
last
middle of the day?
like whatever the
Oh.
last hour
Oh,
is,
okay.
which I think is 7th hour.
Yeah.
Like they do that like workout, then they go straight into practice.
Mm.
We had workout, any running, any speed drills, like as soon as we got there.
Yeah.
So like we had to be on time, but I think
We had-
7, like it was 8 o'clock, but we had to be there like at 7:40.
We had like a quote unquote optional workout in the mornings that we had to go to during the off
Yeah,
season,
optional.
which was not really
Just
optional.
like summer workouts here were optional
Yeah.
with Moffitt.
Yeah.
Just like OTAs were optional in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Not
nothing
really
optional
optional.
about it.
Mm-mm.
It's like it's optional and they can't technically fine you in the NFL, but like they'll find a way to get some money from you
Yeah.
if you don't show up. So, Cassie, you told me you actually called Hunt out
I did.
Oh,
on
you
not
did?
paying up
I
on
did
his
call him
steak
out and
dinner.
take
She
it
did
over
it
it.
on air. It was great. She sent it to me. It was awesome.
Wait, do you have the video?
I do have it.
Ooh, do you have it ready to play?
Yeah. Let me
Oh my gosh, I need to see this.
unmute it.
And let me change this too.
And Hunt didn't say like where. Like it can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Like there was no pride. There was no like,
Ooh.
hey, we're going to like Texas Roadhouse, which nothing wrong with Texas
I
Roadhouse.
love Texas
Fantastic.
Roadhouse.
I mean, I'll go there as well, Hunt. But no price limit. Here's Cassie making sure that Hunt actually pays up on his bets.
It's
all
on
right.
the monitor
Yep,
speaker.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Ready?
Did OTB, and according to Jacob Hester, you owe him a steak dinner. Take it or leave it.
I will take that. I
I'll
absolutely
take
do. I can't believe he's still referencing this. I made a wonderful wager. It was a great play. It was bold. It was ambitious. It was the right line to be on. But it did lose.
What was it, Hunt?
I thought that Les Miles would never win a Big 12 game as long as he was the head coach of Kansas. Thought he would go 0 for his entire career. And he won 1 on a blocked field goal that got fumbled in overtime. So
So that was years ago.
yes, it was.
He's still holding a grudge.
Why?
He still wants his
Okay,
steak dinner.
it's not a grudge. You bet him and you owe him a steak. So why has it not happened yet, Hunt?
I don't want to pay for the steak. Because I
but
thought
you
it
made
was
the bet.
You
because
did
I thought
it.
it was a good bet and I deserved more
Okay,
credit.
but you lost.
If he had won like 9, it would be a blowout. The only one he won was a fluke.
Hunt, a bet is a bet, Hunt. You lost the bet.
But I had a great bet. It was a great bet by me.
Okay, yeah, we can all agree that it was a good bet, Hunt, but you lost. You gotta come correct.
I don't think so.
I think you do. It's pretty.
Jake
it's pretty
likes to
cut
bring
and
that up
dry.
on the air.
Yeah, well, you owe him.
It's not. I phrased that wrong on the spot. It's not that I mind paying for the steak, no matter if that's
Okay.
just garden variety or whatever, or
You're
a
just
nicer
mad
one.
that you lost
I'm
on
mad
one
that I
game.
lost the bet because it was
Yes.
a great bet. Because it was a terrible hire. I called it out at the time. They should have never won a league game the whole time he was the coach there, and they did on a fluke. And I'm salty about it. So therefore, I've reneged on the bet, and it's a bad look.
It is a bad look, and you could easily remedy it by simply getting a steak dinner.
Maybe the mood will strike me. Now that we're neighbors, I might be able to help him
And
out
your
with that.
neighbors too. That's just.
It is
That's pretty sad, Hunt.
Show's about to end.
How is it a good bet if you lost? He's like, it's a good bet. It was a good bet. No, You lost. You said they wouldn't win one, and they won one. I don't care if they won 2-0. I don't care how it happened. Kansas beat Texas Tech. They won the bet. He literally lives like 100 yards from me. Hunt, you can't, like, he kept saying good bet. A bet either wins or it loses. If I have a 7-team parlay and 6 hit and 1 loses, that's not a good bet. It's a bad bet because it lost. And then he admitted that he didn't want to pay for it. Then he felt cheap,
said,
and then
"I don't
he
wanna
tried
pay for
to
it."
go back on it. We're talking about 5 years and me trying to get this steak. Hunt's coming on later to break down
Oh, he is.
baseball. Yeah, he's coming on at 9. I forgot to mention that.
forgot
He's coming
that.
on at 9. Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
he likes to bring it up on air. Yeah. I'm trying to shame you into paying up.
He deserves it. But this is so funny that he's like, it's a good bet. I lost it, but it's a good bet because he had a write up on. I'm trying to find it. He had a write up on LouisianaSports.net yesterday that I saw that he was like looking back at the bold predictions that he did preseason. And one of them was that Gavin Guidry and Connor Ware were each going to have like 4 saves
I
or
saw
something
that.
like that. But then he gave himself a C- on that.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's an
no,
F.
they're both wrong.
Neither one
I
of
mean,
them had a save.
I'll give them I'll give him maybe D- because Gavin Guidry was injured, so we wouldn't know either way. But that's just so funny that he's like, it's a good bet, and I'm gonna give myself a C-.
Oh my gosh, Hunt. That's the same energy when you say you had a good bet that lost. All right. Well, he's going to SEC Media Days this year.
Yeah. Oh, he's buying you a steak there.
He's buying me a steak.
Has to.
And because how long it's taken, he's buying Flynn a steak too. I think it's his team OTB now.
That's a tax.
Yeah. He's buying not only me, but
The
he's buying
interest
Flynn
rate.
one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the interest on the bet.
Yeah. And we're going to make him know the entire time that he's buying Flynn a steak, who's got way more money than both of us, and he's paying for it. That's going to be the kicker. All right, when we come back, Alondra is going to update you on what's going on in Hoover, Alabama, and we'll do it right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to BoudreauxElectrical.com, BoudreauxElectrical.com. If you've been wanting to find out more information about getting a whole home generator, or you've already made up your mind, you know that you want one for storm season and when it happens, or you know that the last thing that you want is for when your power goes out, for you to be in South Louisiana in this heat without power, right? And Boudreaux's can take care of that, because as soon as that power goes out, your whole home generator is going to kick on and you're not even going to know what is going on around you, because you are going to feel like it is a normal day for you. That is the peace of mind that you get with Boudreaux's Electrical. So if you're on the North Shore, you want to find out more information, that number is 985-397-1562. Here in the greater Baton Rouge area, 225-300-9389. Get that quote today, BoudreauxElectrical.com. More power, more protection.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
Pimpin', baby. That's right. Big pimpin', spinning cheese. Talk to him. Bumpy, Pimp C, Jigga Man. You know I thug 'em, hug 'em, love 'em, leave 'em, but I don't trust 'em.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here on a Thursday morning, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And now we are going to get an update from Hoover, Alabama. What has been going on? Who's winning? Who lost? Remember, no more double elimination, only a single elimination. We've had some weather, but maybe not as much as we normally have in Hoover, Alabama. Alondra, how did it play out yesterday?
Yeah, so if you remember on Monday, the Texas A&M and Mississippi State game got delayed to the next day. So they played yesterday morning, and Texas A&M slamming the door on Mississippi State 9-0.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
I thought Mississippi State
would have some fight.
They won 5 in a row. They, were plus 3,100 to win the SEC tournament. I'm like, that would kind of be like a state thing to do.
Yeah.
Like to get hot, interim coach, maybe go make a run. And then Texas A&M is like, who are you? Who are you?
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, would not be surprised if they make a run in this tournament and sneak their way into the postseason. Because as of now, I don't think they deserve it.
No, I mean, they're 11 wins.
Right.
Like they're 2 away from what we've always said, get to 13.
Yeah. But highlighted by a Jace Laviolette grand slam in the second inning. So they got up 6-0 in the second inning. And Ryan Prager did a great job holding Mississippi State to 0 runs, and so did their closers. But they play Auburn tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yep.
So, no, today, my bad.
It's today.
I wrote this last night.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Hey, in my mind, I'm like, no, it's
Thursday.
Wednesday, and then tomorrow, and then LSU plays the winner on Yes,
they
I'm
play
right
tonight.
there with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they play Auburn tonight. So the Tigers have a chance to avenge a series lost either way, because they lost the series to Texas A&M, got swept by Auburn.
I kind of want them to beat Auburn more.
I know, same.
I know that,
especially if they save.
Yeah, I hope Sam Dutton. Glasses wearing it. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, hold up, wait a minute.
No, for real.
It made me mad.
Well, because they swept us, and it's somebody who you had on your team is out here dealing.
He was.
Then Tennessee versus Alabama, 15-10. Tennessee winning that game. They had 20 hits.
Game took forever.
It did, yeah. 20 hits. That game's gonna take a minute.
True.
So they'll face Texas next, which is, I forgot if that's today or tomorrow.
The battle for UT.
Battle for UT.
Yeah.
And then OU versus Georgia, 3-2. OU getting the win there, and they used Kyson Witherspoon. He pitched a gem yesterday. He season high 7 2/3. They'll face Vandy next, which should be a really good game because Vandy and Oklahoma.
Vandy just flying under the radar.
They
here.
really are.
Hold up.
They were the 4th seed in the tournament.
I know, but nobody. Everybody's talking about Arkansas. And then they'll, LSU certainly getting some love. Other teams that are didn't get a double bye. Yeah, nobody talks about Vandy.
Yeah, but that should be a good game because they're, in terms of stats and where they are in the rankings, they're pretty similar in the SEC. And then Ole Miss versus Florida. I watched some of that last night, but I fell asleep because it was a late one. Ole Miss ends up getting the win 3-1. Ace Hunter Elliott was dealing. The one run that he gave up was unearned. And from what I watched, he was doing a great job. So
Yeah, Florida was a team that I thought maybe would make a run in
Yeah.
the SEC. Because not that I think Mississippi State or Florida were the best teams in the SEC, but they were playing well. They still had something to play for.
Yeah.
Like Mississippi State in the latest D1 projection was a 3 seed. Well, they don't want to be a 3 seed, right? That means you're facing off against two really good teams. Like you want to be at least a 2 seed. You're not going to host, but you want to improve. And then for Florida, the same thing. Like you want to just continue to improve the resume there. So those teams going out in their first game, it did certainly surprise me. But shout out to Oklahoma. I mean, they've kind of played this thing well. Now they've got a couple of victories. They were on a 3 line in the latest projection. They're certainly, I think now they've done enough to be a 2. Like I don't think they'll be a 3 anymore.
For
regionals.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I mean-
Oklahoma, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oklahoma had a good season. So I kind of agree with you, but it's just so hard to tell sometimes with the committee and what they're thinking because you never really, I don't know. Sometimes I think I have it figured out and I never do. But so today, we'll have Florida versus Ole Miss, or just kidding. That happened last night. Why isn't this updated?
That was 3-1 Ole Miss, right?
Yeah, so I don't know who they'll play next, but I can look at that real quick.
Yeah, we're going to have Jay Johnson join us at 8:30 and going to preview LSU and, obviously still waiting around to see who they're going to play. But maybe, hopefully, I'll keep trying to get how they're going to play it out out of Jay.
So Ole Miss will face Arkansas. I forgot they were the other team with the double
Yep.
bye. Yeah. And then Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma, Vandy, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and then we play whoever wins versus Texas A&M and Auburn.
Man, Arkansas is still the answer. Like, so on Off Campus on my afternoon show, we have a lot of D1 baseball people, ESPN baseball people, and I kind of always throw them the question, all right, now that we know where we're at and we're in conference tournaments, like who's your favorite? Like who do you think can go make a run? It's a tough question because we have so much baseball, but it's been unanimous, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Unanimous. Like I've asked 7 people probably that cover baseball every single day, and they just love Arkansas.
Yeah.
Say most complete team,
Yeah.
team that they can see, finally winning a championship. And I'm like, they're good. They're really good, but it's crazy how quickly that answer comes out.
It is because, well, we talked about it, like you said, before LSU faced Arkansas, that's what we talked about. They're the most complete team, but LSU beat Arkansas. So.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, it has been like unanimous, not Arkansas. And it's quick, too, as well. So, look, we'll see if the Razorbacks are able to win in the SEC tournament. Very excited to find out who LSU is going to play because a great point by Alondra. Either way, they are going to be able to have the opportunity to get revenge on A&M, who took 2 of 3 from them. And, of course, Auburn was the only sweep that LSU went through this year. And then for Texas A&M, we were kind of joking, but not joking. Like, we don't know who you are. I mean, it started off #1 team in the country, and then it was just bad. It was bad from Jump Street, right? And then it hit like, oh, here they come. And it was like, okay, well, they figured it out. And then it hit like another little lull. And then they beat LSU 2 of 3. It's like, okay, well, this is who they're going to be. They're going to go sweep Missouri.
Yeah.
All right. They're going to get to be 14 wins in the SEC. They'll make the postseason and look out. Then they get swept by Missouri, the only wins that Missouri has. And now they beat Mississippi State 9-0. So, like, I can they make the postseason with 11 wins unless they win the SEC tournament?
Unless they go deeper and win the SEC tournament, I don't think so.
I mean, I had some people tell me yesterday if they made it to the weekend, they felt like that. I was like, man, 11's just that's crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe the math has changed a little bit because you go from 14 to 16, but I still don't know that 11 wins deserves to get into the postseason.
No, and they just had just a really bad season overall.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. But maybe this is just my bias against the Aggies that I'm like, they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Yeah, you need
unless they go deeper.
You need Yell leader Tay in here to defend the Aggies. Real quick before we get to Connor O'Gara, Saturday down south. Obviously the SEC's the SEC, but the ACC is probably the league outside of the SEC. It's going to get the most teams in the NCAA tournament. You had an upset, Cal, yet again. Remember, they beat Miami 12-2 a couple of days ago. Yesterday, they beat Wake Forest 14-12. They are a team that only won 9 conference games, 9-21 in the ACC, but yet again, they are victorious in the tournament, and it's just crazy how that plays out. Clemson took care of Va-Tech, probably ending Virginia Tech's season. They were one of those teams that needed to make a deep run in the ACC tournament. Duke takes care of Pitt, so Pitt's season is done. And then Boston College, like Cal, 11-19 in the ACC, but they beat a bubble team in Virginia. So now Virginia's got to sweat this thing out. Boston College and Cal still moving forward in the ACC tournament. And I believe we're still going to have like the early games here that are going to start at the end of the show. So we'll continue to update you on some of those scores as they come in. But when we come back, again, we're going to be joined by Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to pelicanroof.com, where you can see all the 5-star reviews. They've got the instant quote tool. You put in your address, and it's going to outline your roof and give you a great idea of what it is going to cost you. Just an incredible tool. But also remember, financing, 0 interest for up to 21 months for qualified applicants with Pelican Roof. Incredible deal there. A couple of things they've got going on here in the month of May. Remember, they are growing their Baton Rouge team and looking to hire 10 new sales reps during the month of May. They are paying up to $10,000 signing bonus, and applicants can apply at pelicanroof.com/careers. Also, they're giving away a free roof. So a free roof, completely free roof, to a mother in need. They are collecting nominations during the month of May and will announce a winner on June the 2nd. To nominate people, you can go to pelicanroof/contest. And you can also check out their pinned post on Facebook, pelicanroof.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner.
This is Off the Bench.
10 feet off the ground.
All right, welcome back in. OTB on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Always a pleasure to catch up with our next guest. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, joins us now. Connor, what's going on, sir? How we doing this week?
I'm doing well. You know, I have severe sports FOMO last night after going to bed when the Pacers and Knicks had about like 2:40 left.
Yeah.
And that's tough. Like that FOMO of waking up the next day and seeing what unfolded that you missed out on. If I had just stayed up 15 minutes,
I know
I could have seen it. But pretty tough look for me to wake up and see that.
So you went to Indiana. Are you a Pacers fan?
I am not, but my wife
Okay.
is, because my
Okay.
wife is from Indianapolis. Just had my father-in-law in town. Got to watch the other side of the Eastern Conference Finals last week, and we rewatched the Winning Time documentary, the 30 for 30, Reggie Miller against the Knicks. We were rewatching that to kind of get in the spirit of the series, and I texted my father-in-law. I've already been texting with him this morning about it, and let's just say I have a lot of interest in the Pacers, but as someone who grew up in the suburbs of Chicago with the 90s Bulls, I'm more of a believer that Reggie flopped at every chance that he could.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually like a Knicks fan growing up because the Pelicans weren't here yet, and the Mavs were kind of new, and that was the closest team. So I was like, hey, who's like the gritty team? And it was like Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, John Starks, Patrick Ewing. So I went with the Knicks, and so I watched last night's game all the way to the finish of overtime. It was fun. It was great.
That's tough. Look, but as a Knicks fan who experienced the 90s, you get it. I mean, at this point, even though it is a different era, like you understand the dynamics that come to play. Look, I wasn't allowed to say that I hated anyone growing up with the exception of one person. I think I might have told you this before, but just in case I haven't, the only person that I was allowed to say I hated growing up was John Starks.
Really?
Like, that's the only guy, because, you know, he had the big time dunk on the left side coming down the baseline or whatever.
Yeah.
But John Starks was just the guy, or whatever. But like, he was just the guy that could get under your skin in such a unique way. And I'm sure there are a ton of those people in college football that there's just always been that one guy. Maybe for a lot of Georgia fans this year, Carson Beck is that guy. Lord knows for Tennessee fans, Nico Iamaleava is that guy. Those are guys that are villains for different reasons. But I feel like it's been a while since we've had true villains in a way that a John Starks was, at least for me as a kid.
I was so I was maybe not allowed just to keep my hate at one person. I hated the entire 1990s, certainly early 90s Philadelphia Phillies, because me being a Braves fan. So like Lenny Dykstra, Darren Dalton, John Kruk, Mitch Williams. Oh my gosh, him for sure. Especially Schilling was on those teams. I'm pretty sure Mike Mordecai was on those teams. Like all of them, they could get all the hate.
Lenny Dykstra though is just such a Jacob Hester type player, though. I mean,
mine is trying to steal people's money, but yeah.
Yeah. Player. Notice I said player, not person. I still have a baseball card of Lenny Dykstra with just the fattest lips.
Oh, he put the whole can in there.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that guy he was one of one. Nails, all-time great nickname, true gritty nickname. There's a kid that I played high school football with that got the nickname Nails, and I was so unbelievably jealous of that just for the Lenny Dykstra association. Again, Lenny Dykstra the player, not Lenny Dykstra the person.
Yeah, what position did Nails on your team play?
Every position that I played. He played strong safety. He played a little bit of fullback, which I know you would appreciate. But
as Nails
and
would.
Then played, yeah, of course. And then played guard in basketball, played in the outfield in baseball. He didn't catch. That was about the only thing I did differently than him. Yeah. But he was objectively tougher than me and a much better comp for the Lenny Dykstra Player Association than I was.
Right, fair. Shout out to Nails if you're listening somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're jealous now of Connor and all the big things he's doing in sports media. How about that, Nails?
James Pacoon, if he's listening somewhere out there. Good dude. Nails is just an all-time cool nickname. I would stick with that forever.
So this was not like a self-given nickname, and I still don't know, like, whatever, how I feel about it. Our radio announcer in high school gave me the nickname Freight Train. I was playing running back, just kind of whatever, and they made T-shirts, and it was like the Purdue Boilermaker logo, like bursting through, like Freight Train Hester or whatever. And I still have friends, and they know, like, I just like, what are you doing? They still call me Freight. Like, so do you still call Nails?
I would. Yeah, I would if I saw him. Nails. To have that nickname, see, that's incredible because you can step into a room and Freight's coming. Like that every single time. You walk into the cafeteria, oh, is that Jacob Hester? No, Freight is coming. He's got a tray full of chicken nuggets and a paper cup of chocolate milk. He's ready to roll. Okay. Now I'm more jealous of you than I am of Nails from my high school.
Oh, I'll send you the poorly made T-shirts when I get home later on today, and I'll show you what I was talking about. But shout out to Nails. Glad he made it here on the show today. I want to ask you first SEC question because I do want to get to the LSU stuff, and LSU fans are going to, I think, enjoy what you have to say. But so our guy Aaron Murray, I don't know if you've heard the clip yet. He went on our SEC show on Sirius XM and was talking about Arch Manning. And basically, to sum it up, if he was as good as we say he is, would he have sat behind a 7th-round draft choice in Quinn Ewers, which I think's a little unfair to a lot of people. I get kind of what Aaron was trying to say. Basically, we've already crowned Arch Manning, even though he's only started a handful of games, and we have some other quarterbacks in the SEC that have done it for the totality of a full or maybe even 2 full seasons. But what do you think about what Aaron had to say about Arch Manning?
Yeah, I texted Aaron this week to let him know how much I disagreed with his take. No,
he's coming on tomorrow, so just talk to him now.
Exactly. I'll try and talk some sense into him. Look, I get what he's saying, and I think that there is definitely a desire to jump the gun with Arch.
Yeah.
I understand kind of that dynamic of, look, if your guy is supposed to be up and coming, then eventually that talent is going to win out, and a coaching staff is going to see side by side, this dude is better than the other dude, okay? I think we need to remember, though, that it's not so much where they were at last year. It's where were they at the season before? Because Arch Manning was not the second-string quarterback as a true freshman.
Right.
He was the third-string quarterback because Malik Murphy beat him out. And Malik Murphy came into spring and really had the right approach. And so there was a lot more separation between Arch and Ewers in 23 than I think we remember. And so coming into last year was, all right, now Arch gets to be the backup. He's kind of moving up the ranks. Quinn Ewers comes back as one of the top 5 or top 10, depending on where you look, quarterbacks in all of college football. And nobody at the time is saying this guy is a 7th-round pick. And he gets off to a great start. I mean, let's go back to that Michigan game. What he did against the defending champs in Ann Arbor, I know it didn't age unbelievably well because Michigan didn't have this incredible season, but it was still a remarkable performance in which he was so dialed in. And then he obviously gets hurt, and the season follows a different kind of path for him where he's playing with a torn oblique. Still going into the NFL draft, nobody thought Quinn Ewers was going to be a 7th-round pick. And that's where I would push back on this. We thought he'd be like a day 2 type guy, maybe an early day 3 or something like that. But that'd be the part that I would say that's kind of where the argument falls apart a little bit. He had established more seniority, and he had done more in the Steve Sarkisian offense to show, hey, this guy is ready to go, and Quinn Ewers is ready to play now and not necessarily deal with some of those freshman mistakes.
Yeah, and I actually think that Quinn's going to get an opportunity in the NFL, and I actually think that he has the qualities of a starting quarterback in the NFL in the right situation. And so even though he's a 7th-round pick, I still wouldn't just write him off. So we'll see how that plays out. But if I asked you this question, because there's a lot to choose from, if I was like, hey, Connor, your job's on the line, you have to choose one quarterback to lead your team into this one-game scenario next year out of SEC quarterbacks, who would you choose?
I'm not just saying this because of the audience, but I would still go with Garrett Nussmeier. I have been saying that since he announced he was coming back to school. I think there's definitely a part of me that goes back to the drive that he had late against Ole Miss, wherein he showed so much resilience in that moment to understand, look, I have not had my best day at the office. This has been a rough go against one of the nation's best defenses, but I've got a chance. And sometimes in this game, that's all you can really ask for, and it's up to you to kind of seize that moment. Now, obviously, he didn't seize that moment in the same sort of way against Texas A&M, and he fell apart in those key moments, and that was a huge defining moment of LSU's season. But do I think that by the end of the season, he figured out enough to be confident in his abilities, to understand that no matter how he's performing, he can still put forth his best effort and lead you on that game-winning drive? Yes. I believe he's figured those all-important things out, and I think it's going to pay huge dividends for LSU next season. So while you could definitely go in a variety of other directions, DJ Lagway, I love me some DJ Lagway if his shoulder's healthy. Lenore Stellars, the drive that he had laid to be able to beat Clemson in the other Death Valley. I just think that there is still something about Nussmeier that just makes you go, yeah, that guy can just find a way. And fourth down, I'm just going to find a way to trust that guy, and I think he's going to deliver in the clutch.
Yeah, Connor, I want to get to some LSU thoughts, but what about John Mateer coming from Wazoo to Oklahoma? It's a little bit of a mixed bag. I know a lot of people are excited to see how it looks in the SEC. You come with your offensive coordinator. John Mateer did some really big things for Wazoo. Oklahoma needs to be dynamic at quarterback. They were not a year ago. Where are you at right now with John Mateer?
I am definitely lower than the consensus is, because I'm surprised that so many people are already assuming he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the sport, not just in the SEC. And to me, that's jumping the gun a little bit for a guy who played against a mostly Mountain West schedule. Sure. And you're right. I do think it's a mixed bag. Like, there are a lot of different numbers that you could point to with him and go, well, that's really good, but also that would terrify me. Like, he had 13 turnover-worthy plays when he was kept clean. That was tied for the third most in FBS, according to PFF. But at the same time, it's like, well, he also had 16 big-time throws when he was kept clean, and that's really, really good. So, like, I think he's going to have a lot more variance. You know, you look at some of the downfield numbers where, you know, he threw more interceptions. He had 6 of those than anybody in FBS on those types of throws. So there's certainly a gunslinger mentality type element to his game, but I wonder how that's going to pair with Brent Venables, because last year Brent Venables did not tolerate mistakes. Jackson Arnold, at that stage of the season, with the receivers that he had banged up, with the offensive line that was new and not up to the task, he did not perform well enough to be able to keep that job, according to Brent Venables. Is John Mateer going to get that kind of grace? Can he stomach 2, maybe 3 dud games in a row? Is that variance going to be too much for Brent Venables, the defensive-minded guy, to tolerate? That's what I want to see play out. And I know he's got his offensive coordinator with him in Ben Arbuckle, and I know it's going to be an improved offensive line, better pass catchers who will stay healthier. But I agree. I think the variance could be all over the place. I think there could be moments in which he looks like an all-SEC quarterback, and then moments in which you wonder if he's about to get benched.
Catching up with our guy, Connor O'Gara, Saturday down south here on OTB. All right, Connor, you made a statement last week, and you were, I think it was me and EJ, might have been me and Bobby, either way, does not matter, about how you feel about this upcoming football season for the LSU Tigers. And I'm not even going to try to steal your thunder. Just tell our great audience here what you think the expectation should be for LSU.
I have LSU winning a national championship. And it took me a while to get to that point. I was not at that point in January. I don't even think I was at that point in April, if I'm being 100% honest. But the more and more I think about the moves that have been made to this roster from Brian Kelly and the staff that he's assembled and all of the pieces that are in place, I just think, man, this is the opportunity that's there for the taking for LSU. A team that I don't really believe was that far away this past season, despite the fact that obviously they didn't end up making the college football playoff when they seemingly had a wide open path to be able to do so. But I think they make those improvements this year. I think they have more of a defensive identity in year 2 with Blake Baker. I think the addition of Mansour Delane is going to be instrumental in a secondary that just needs to show it's not a doormat. Had 6 consecutive games to close the regular season without allowing 250 passing yards. I think this is a defensive line that you're going to have questions about. Can they have that post-spring addition that they got from South Florida? I'm blanking on his name right now. Is he going to be the difference maker to kind of be that run stuffer up front? That's a massive question. But this offense should be one of the top 5 offenses in college football if Nick Anderson can stay healthy. The addition that he is going to be for that team is going to be so important. He's not a contested catch guy yet, but he is a big play waiting to happen. He and Barryon Brown and then Aaron Anderson, who is the number 3 receiver in the SEC as far as I'm concerned, maybe one of the most underrated players in all of college football. that group is going to be special. So on top of the fact that you already know how I feel about Garrett Nussmeier, an offensive line that has an interior that's rebuilt via the portal, I just think this is LSU's time, and I think that they are ready to finally capitalize on this. They have this sense of urgency. There's no better time than the present for Brian Kelly to get it done.
Yeah, very well said, and I agree. I mean, the moves that they've made and what they've done in the portal, along with the high school recruiting and the guys that have already been here, if not now, then when, certainly feels like the time for LSU. Connor, you're the man. Appreciate your time as always, sir. Tell Nels we said what's up, and we'll catch up again with you soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
All right, there he is. I mean, and I do want to kind of point out before we go to break, like, this isn't one of those situations where, you know, Connor leans LSU. Like, Connor covers the entire SEC. I've been catching up with Connor for, I guess, 8 years now, and I've never heard him be that bullish on an LSU team. No team ever. Like, and obviously 2019, like, there wasn't a lot of people predicting that, but I've never heard him be as bullish as he is on LSU. Certainly some high expectations here in Baton Rouge for all the things LSU's done, who they have coming back. And so it's going to be an exciting season. And we've got Joe Sloan, LSU offensive coordinator, set to join us in about 15 minutes from now. He obviously can talk Nussmeier, break down kind of that receiver room, the offensive line. It's going to be certainly completely different, but we saw in that bowl game against Baylor, those guys are ready to play as well. All right, more OTB when we come back here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. Allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com is the place to go to if you're looking to buy new, if you're looking to lease, or if you are looking to rent a Toyota. Right now, you are probably out of school. I think yesterday was the last day for a lot of people, but some people still have to go through. Friday does not matter, because even if you've got your trip, your vacation coming up on Saturday, on Sunday, it is not too late to reserve that rental. Everything is available. So if they offer it new, they're going to offer it in the leasing process. If they offer it in the leasing process, they're going to offer it in the rental process. You don't get that anywhere else. A lot of times, like, if you're renting a car, it's like, hey, we have one sedan, one SUV, maybe you get a truck, maybe you get a van. Everything available over at All Star. So look at your calendar, find out when that trip is. Once you do, call Miss Lisa Sessions in that rental department to reserve it today. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
You love me unconditionally. Say you'll never leave me, no matter what. I'll have a confession.
All right, welcome back in OTB Thursday morning, a little R&B Thursday here on OTB. Going to catch up with LSU offensive coordinator Joe Sloan in about 10 minutes from now. I can't wait to dive into what this offense is going to look like. And Connor mentioned like some of the transfers that LSU brought in. They're not going to just easily walk into starting roles on this LSU offense. Like, I think Nick Anderson, Barry and Brown, great players. But they got to go earn the job. Like, we saw what Chris Hilton can be at the end of the year, certainly in the bowl game. And that's why you want him fully healthy. Was not healthy last year. Certainly we saw in camp what it was going to look like, and his health is a concern. But Xavier Thomas, that's a player that's got some real juice to him. So those players, Anderson, Brown, very excited about them coming to campus, transferring in from Kentucky and Oklahoma. And I think it's a great thing that they're going to have to go out there. They're going to have to earn those positions. It's certainly not going to be given to them. Same thing with Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, who you get from Virginia Tech and Northwestern on the offensive line. Those players, DJ Chester is not just going to give that job over. Weston Davis, not just going to give that job over. Tyree Adams, who we saw in the bowl game and some last year, just not going to give that job over. There's real competition. There was in spring football. I fully expect it to be all throughout training camp as well. And that's what it should be. Like when you bring players in like this and it's not out of necessity, like you bring in good players, let the cream rise to the top. And that should be very exciting for all LSU fans. The fact that they brought good players out of the portal that everybody wanted. Like you had to be very competitive to get these players, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be day one starters because you had some guys that raised their level of play in spring football because of it. And really that bowl game and that bowl game prep, I think there's going to be times that we go back next year and we highlight what happened in the Texas Bowl. And you're like, it was a meaningless game against Baylor. Like, what do you mean? I don't think it was meaningless because you had your best players decide to not play and, get ready for the NFL draft. That happens all over the place. But what it did, it gave the offensive line, like all these new faces, 15 practices with Miles Frazier. Remember, he played in the game. He was like the mentor for everybody throughout that couple of weeks of practice. And I think we're going to point back and say, okay, well, like this was huge. Like this was a big step forward in them becoming the guy. They had been waiting their turn. So certainly on offense. Now on defense, maybe it's a little bit different. Like Pyburn from Florida, he's going to have a role in this team. He comes in as a transfer, but you heard Blake Baker say like Gabe Relaford's not going to just give up those snaps, right? So it's going to be competitive there. Maybe at Patrick Payton is the day one guy always going to be the guy. There's a couple of guys certainly in the defensive backfield that Blake mentioned yesterday as well. DeMarcus Cooley, somebody that I'm very interested to see kind of where he lives. But like even with all these transfers coming in, and I think more on offense and defense, but even defense, as you lay it out and you kind of look at the depth chart, it's not just guaranteed, hey, you're coming in the portal, you're going to start, which I think, again, is a good thing. I think that's happened times before where you count so heavily on somebody out of the portal, and maybe it doesn't work out, or maybe they don't have that competition that's pushing them every single day. I just don't think that's the case. Maybe in the defensive back room, that's where you're thin, so maybe like defensive back's a little bit different, but when I start looking at these edge defenders, when you start looking at defensive tackle, when you start looking at receiver, when you look on the offensive line, when you look at the tight end room, like it is going to be competition throughout training camp. And we're going to catch up with LSU's offensive coordinator, Joe Sloan, to break it all down. How did they finish spring? What's camp looking like moving forward? What's Nussmeier looking like heading into this season? And we'll do that right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to KTOZBlinds.com, KTOZBlinds.com. K2Z Interiors and Outdoor Living, been doing it since 2004. That's phone number 225-791-1220. Now, I always encourage you to take a look at the website, see what they can do for you, check out their story, check out their team, check out the area that they're going to be able to service, and chances are they're going to be able to help you out. Like Brandon Barton, for me, has gone above and beyond. Like, he's helped my father out. My dad came over to my house. He saw the outdoor shade that you always hear me talking about, the motorized screen, push a button, comes down. Well, my dad, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Well, my dad lives in Shreveport, okay? Brandon had a conference in Dallas, made a pit stop to install one in my father's home. That's just who he is. That's what K2Z is. That's the kind of service that you get. KTOZBlinds.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here on this Thursday morning. Always our pleasure to catch up with our next guest is our guy, Joe Sloan, LSU offensive coordinator. Coach, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. Sitting up here getting excited for the football season already in May because that's what we do here in South Louisiana. I know you've got like one more welcome party. I think, 18 players maybe coming over the next couple of days. And then I'm sure you're excited because you can finally, okay, here's the team, here's who it is, and let's go to work.
Yeah, I think, we'll add the last few pieces. Just kind of as a change in college football, probably after, I guess, really COVID, seemed like after COVID kind of started that. A lot of our guys get here in January, which is nice. So spring actually gets you a chance to really see what you got. But I think we'll get a couple more pieces. Excited to get a few guys in. Philip and JT, two young guys. Can't wait to get them in here and see what they can do and add them to the group.
Coach, we were talking about, the depth on this team, and you brought veteran players out of the portal that were there in spring practice. But one of the cool things for me, like when I went out to spring practice, the guys that were already here weren't just going to give the job up. Like, there's some real competition. Like, even though you brought in really good players out of the portal, it was kind of cool to see everybody say, you know what, like, we're all fighting for this job. We're not going to just lay down. And that competition in spring practice, at least from what I saw the couple of days I was out there, like, it was heightened more so than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think that's the thing when you lose some guys who have been kind of solidified starters, and you have some really good guys in your program, and then maybe add some different pieces from different places, and there's just an opportunity where there's no one has this job locked up. You got the opportunity to just go out and prove who you are and show what you're all about. And it's about the consistency day in and day out, taking your talent and putting it to work out there on the practice field. So I think you saw a lot of guys doing that, right? And these guys work hard year round for those type of opportunities. And if you're recruiting the right guys, that's what's going to happen.
Coach, how big was that bowl prep for the offensive line? Because they got 15 practices, and Miles Frazier, like, he stuck around. He almost felt like a coach right there on the field with them, and it just felt like such a valuable experience for those players. And then, Coach, they go out against a good Baylor front, and they played really well.
Yeah, I thought that was massive. I mean, we won't make this morning about the bowl games in college football nowadays, right? But but I think the benefit of it was you had a lot of our current team right out there playing together, which I think was huge, right? And especially from an offensive front standpoint, like you talked about. And those guys, we had 4 guys who started here for a long time. So there wasn't necessarily that many opportunities for different times to play. And I think some of those guys got some really valuable playing time in a big game, right, against a really good opponent. And that kind of experience, just to be able to take a breath going into game one, I think is huge for them. And I think they proved a lot, right? I think they proved a lot with how they performed.
Now, Coach, last year, very explosive offense, 19th in total offense in the entire country, but every offense is going to be a little bit different. So, like, how would you describe the personality of this year's offense? Is it speed? Is it power? Is it versatility? Like, I know that thing is still being built a little bit, but based off what you saw in the spring, like, what are you expecting maybe moving forward?
I think as you look, I think we're definitely a fast offense, right? Yeah. We have speed all over the field, and I think the important thing will be is to be able to use that to our advantage to create misdirection and create issues for the defense. And I think that's where we're going to start. I think what we've done a good job of, and really with Trey and Bauer and those guys, is having the ability to create some different formations and do some different things, and some of the different pieces on offense to use in multiple ways to get different looks to the defense. And I think our guys have really bought into that to be able to add, to maybe some of the things that we've already been doing, which I think will be really exciting.
Now, Coach, when you say different formations, the I formation is still available if you want to use it.
I know. We need to get you out there.
Hey, I'll have to teach them how to do a 3-point stance, though. I'm not even sure they would know how to do that anymore, Coach.
Hey, you never know. You know what? the touchdown pass to Trey in the bowl game, we were in the I formation, right?
Okay.
That was it. Now we threw it. So,
That's okay.
but,
Hey, look, I don't care if you throw it. Look, we can catch too.
I know.
Obviously, like, talking offense, talking what you did last year, talking about what maybe it's going to look like this year, I would assume like it just makes it so much easier when you walk into a meeting room and number 13 sitting there. And Garrett was so good a year ago, obviously. And look, any new start is going to have some growing pains. But even like when there was like a tougher stretch for him, I don't even want to call it a tough stretch because I thought he played so well a year ago, but a tougher stretch, like he still found his way in the end and finished the season strong. So what's it like with him coming in from year one to year number 2? We always talk about it at that position. That's like the most important jump from year 1 to year 2, even though he had a really solid year number 1.
Yeah, no, I think that's the key thing, right? And he and I have talked a ton about this. He was as prepared as he could be and had developed as much as he could possibly develop in order to be prepared to play. And then there's experience and development you have to get from playing, right? And there's some situations that happened in the season that now he's aware of how those things transpired, within the way he plays the game. And then practicing and preparing year round to make sure you can avoid some of the negatives, right, and highlight your strengths. And I think that's what he's doing. He's been able to really watch and dive into every bit of his film from the last year, and now, right, take that into spring with having a really good plan on exactly what he wanted to improve on, and what we wanted him to improve on in all the different facets of what we do. And I think that's what, when you watch him really from January up until spring ball, that's what he did. And then we would kind of reset during spring ball and say, okay, this is what's really getting better. This is what, okay, we need to adjust and maybe shift our focus, or, hey, let's look at our footwork here, or let's look at what we're thinking about here. Something else maybe reared its head a little bit. But I think you just see a calmness and a understanding every day of exactly what he needs to do. And I think that's the piece that experience brings you that is hard to have until you actually play. Because playing, situational football and different things that happen, they just, as much as you practice, all those things don't come up, right? So I think he's really dove into them, and I couldn't be more excited about him and what he's done. And then the way he's shown leadership, I think that's carried over into his leadership and just a consistency day in, day out of what's to be expected. And I think that's carrying over to the other guys.
Yeah, and Coach, you start talking about, what he's done, but also like what he has this year working with him. And last year the receivers were really, really good, but then you get those guys, most of those guys back this year, and then you add 2 guys through the portal. And like, I truly believe Aaron Anderson might be one of the most underrated players in the country. Like, when people talk about the LSU receivers, like, he should be the name that everybody talks about. He was the leading receiver a year ago. Like, this feels like one of the most talented rooms in the country, and one that still is trying to figure out like what the pecking order is going to be, but because everybody's like worthy of getting playing time.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys are going to get opportunities to help this football team win, compete for a championship, right? That's what you want. And that's what our sole focus is guys being their absolute best, to help us have a championship offense, right? To help our football team win a championship. That's the key. Right, and that's the way they're looking at it. I'm excited about all the different guys. I think, you talked about Aaron. The way that he's taken from, last spring, right? He was kind of an unproven commodity going in, and he was competing with a lot of different guys. And where was he going to fit? And took advantage of some different opportunities, and then really took off from there. But I think you see just a different Aaron this offseason and how he approaches every day, how he's taking care of his body, how he's attacking practice. I couldn't be more proud of him. Being vocal, I mean, he's been awesome. So it's been fun to see. But there's so many guys in that room that I think are going to have great years. And Nuss has done a really good job of kind of working around and working with all of them. And I think this summer, the spring was huge for us, and the summer will be big for us. But I couldn't be more excited about the talent and speed and all the different types of players that we have on the perimeter.
Catching up with LSU offensive coordinator Joe Sloan here on OTB. Coach, let's talk about the best position, the running back position. Obviously, Caden Durham last year, what he did, and he was banged up, but he still fought through it, and he had a really good year, one of the better freshmen in the entire SEC, regardless of position. You mentioned one already, but you're bringing in some young players, and Caleb obviously still there as well. So it's a young room, but it's a very talented room.
It is, and what Caden was able to do last year, and for just maybe the public, you would just see, okay, Caden's a freshman, and you treat him like any other freshman, and you watch him and you go, oh wow, he's doing such great things for a freshman, for a true freshman. But I would add this: I mean, he didn't get here till the summer, and so many freshmen in college football today early enroll, right? And he was a track star at Duncanville, so he finished out his track season and came over in the summer. And what he was able to do and pick up in the summer, carry over, I think it speaks to really, one, the program he came from, but how he handles himself mentally, and how he carries himself, his maturity. But for a true freshman in the SEC to go out and play the way he did and play through some of the different injuries he was dealing with, he was pretty dynamic. So I can't wait for for him to be able to stay healthy throughout the year, and what type of runner he can be week in, week out when he's feeling a little bit better. Because I thought he was already outstanding last year, but I think he brings so much to the table. He's able to slash and beat people with speed. He's also able to drop his pads and be physical when he needs to. Go all the way back to that run versus South Carolina on third down. When he split he hit the gap, and when he split those two defenders down the field, that was a pretty impressive run. There's not a lot of guys in the country that do that. So I couldn't be more excited about him. And then, the different guys. Caleb had a really good spring, and Harlan Berry, watching the cut-ups yesterday, the last few days of spring, he did some really good things. And I know he's, a lot of growth goes into this summer.
Right.
Coming off that, he knows what's expected now. He knows what it feels like. And I think we'll have a great August out of him. So couldn't be more excited about all of them, including JT getting in and getting rolling. And I think we got a lot of different pieces, right, that can carry the football and do different things. And that's going to be the challenge, right, is getting the right guys the ball into certain situations and letting them go make plays, right? Because that's the key. We got to go make plays. We got to break tackles and make explosive plays. That's what scores points. But we're going to put it in those guys' hands and give them the opportunity to go do that.
Yeah, and then I love the diversity you talked about quickly there with the tight ends, and like bringing in multiple tight ends, one from Oklahoma, one from A&M, and I've caught up with some of their former head coaches just to ask them about them, and then they love them as players, and now they're here in Baton Rouge, and then you've got a unicorn in Trey'Dez Green, so like even those players are going to be able to add value, certainly catching the football, but in the run game as well.
With Bauer and Donnie, who both came in from different places and played a lot of football, to add with Trey'Dez, just their ability to create really a lot of different issues for the defense where they can, all of a sudden they can get down in on the edge, right? They can flex out and are athletic and can create matchup issues on the perimeter. I think there's, the opportunities are endless for those guys. And I think a lot like what we, had did with Mason in the past, but I think just with Trey'Dez's growth, obviously Bauer coming in, his experience, Donovan's experience, but then Trey'Dez's growth coming from his freshman year to his sophomore year. And I think you got to see a little bit of a glimpse of that as the year went on, right? And especially in the bowl game. That creates opportunities, right? Opportunities to challenge defenses and make them do different things to where you can attack them. And we'll use those guys to the fullest.
All right, last one, Coach. Before we let you go, we do appreciate the time. Somebody that you and I both know very well has joined the LSU coaching staff, coaching defensive line, Kyle Williams, who I'm sure you've run into a time or two when y'all were both in Ruston, Louisiana. Have we seen the fiery Kyle Williams that we all know and love yet on the practice field?
Man, from the 3-1 great.
That's right.
Kyle's been outstanding. He and I got to be friends when I was up at Tech, and kind of when he was really retired at the end of his career, back home a little bit. What a fantastic human being. Just a great person, great teacher, outstanding motivator.
Yep.
He's in it for the right reasons, and he's all in. And for somebody who's accomplished all the things that he has in this game, then to get into coaching and be all in, and you'd never know it. I mean, he's humble, he gets after it, and he has so many stories and so much experience to share with those guys and pour into them. And I think he's been a huge addition to our staff. He's been a huge addition to our players. And I think that'll show right in the fall. I think he'll in critical moments. But no, he's been fantastic. And if you know Kyle, just a great personality, great person. And that fire shows up. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, look, that is someone I have heard give a pregame speech when we were both at LSU. I've played against him in the NFL. I would just tell anybody, just make sure that you're on Kyle's good side because my man was intense and always ready to go. Cannot wait to see how that translates to the LSU defensive front. Coach, you're the man. We appreciate your time as always. I know you've got a busy kind of schedule with all these new players coming in. It's never really an off time, certainly in the month of June. So we certainly appreciate you hopping on with us.
Well, absolutely, Jacob. I appreciate you, and good luck with your new co-host coming in.
Wait, with the way you said that, I think you have a feeling like everybody else, Coach. We set the line on him showing up at 3.5. So he's supposed to be here 5 days a week. The line right now is set at 3.5. Will Matt Flynn, are you taking the over or under, Coach?
Ooh, is there nice weather outside?
Let's say it's perfect. If it's perfect weather, do you still go
perfect
over?
Perfect weather under. If it's cold and rainy, maybe I'll go with the over.
Okay, that's fair enough. And the hydration company comes into play when you start talking about the weather too. That's actually really good insight there. Okay, we will see, but we're excited about it. So we appreciate it, Coach.
Absolutely, can't wait. You're looking forward to this summer with these guys. They're ready to get after it and go attack it this fall, man. Go Tigers.
Absolutely. There he is, offensive coordinator Joe Sloan, good enough to join us here. And you heard when he asked the question, he knew. He knew exactly what we were all thinking. But, hey, Flynn was supposed to be here yesterday at 9. He showed up at like 8:58. Very proud of him. He's supposed to be here tomorrow at 9. If we get the same 8:58, that means that we're moving in the right direction. So we'll see if Flynn can actually get that done. All right, we will take a break. We do have Jay Johnson joining us at 8:30, so about 12, 15 minutes from now. But when we come back, let's maybe recap some of what Joe Sloan talked about with the LSU offense, and we'll do it right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, something that I am very excited to continue on with here on OTB is Rouse's, because it is the go-to place for me. Certainly it was for T-Bob, but I always was there trying to get the gift card from T-Bob because I shop at Rouse's. He did give me a gift card. It was a whole situation. He scratched off too many numbers, but we did find a way. It actually had money on it. But look, you should go to Rouse's. It's almost Memorial Day weekend, and you know what that means. It is time to fire up the grill and build a better burger with Rouse's Market. Now, you can grab that 80% lean ground beef for just $3.77 a pound with the Rouse's Market Value Pack. You don't want to miss this deal. Rouse's fresh pork sausage is only $3.99 a pound. I mean, there's so many different things. They still have crawfish as well. I mean, you truly can get everything done right there at Rouse's. Go check them out. Rouse's is the place to be.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in OTB, an R&B Thursday, as we do here on the show. Cassie, what would you consider R&B?
This is going to be interesting.
I know, because
I mean, my favorite's Usher. Okay. You're speaking to Jake's heart.
You just
right now.
became one of my
Really?
favorite people in the building.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Usher for the rest of the day, I think.
All
Although
right.
this is a hit.
Oh,
This is a
Usher
good
is a
job.
good-
This is a
song.
good job. Yeah.
It was a pull because I forgot about this song until literally just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
There's sometimes I gotta dig real deep back here.
So Cassie, I covered the Super Bowl for SiriusXM, and we do this show, Super Bowl, it's a channel, Super Bowl Radio, just for the week, like a pop-up channel, and I get to host that, and it's a lot of fun. Get to catch up with all these incredible actors and musicians and just interesting people. But Usher was playing the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they told me I was getting Usher over, in person, over and over and over and over again. I'm like, let's go, fired up, absolutely. I'm built for this. I have burned this man's CDs and passed them out like nobody's business. And he was running late. I did get to Zoom interview him, but I didn't get to interview him in person. So it hurt my heart.
Yeah.
Built myself up all because it was the last day too. So
Ooh, that was gonna be like the grand finale.
I know.
Like,
So I got Zoom Usher. I didn't get real
It's
Usher.
not the same.
It's not. It's not the same. So, but I'm glad you said that answer. It's a great answer. So we'll continue on with Usher. I want to tell you about Trash Rangers real quick because Memorial Day, right? So what does that mean for your trash pickup? Well, there's not going to be any delays in service with Trash Rangers. So we want to make sure we get that out there. All routes will run as normally scheduled on Friday and on Memorial Day. So enjoy the holiday. Trash Rangers has the trash covered. That's like a service again. You're not going to get anywhere else. Everybody else is going to shut down completely on Memorial Day, but Trash Rangers going to be out there helping you out. All right, we do have Jay Johnson joining us here coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and text him because I was supposed to send him a reminder. Is 6 minutes a reminder, or is that
I think
hey, you're
it's
coming
fine.
on?
I mean, if he gave you the time yesterday, he was like, yeah, I can come on at 8:30, and you remind him right now, I think it's okay. Also, do we really think T-Bob was reminding him within an hour or so or whatever? He was probably getting 5-minute text messages this entire time.
I'm going to say, hey, sending you a reminder about 7 to 10 minutes from now. That feels better than like 5 minutes. And it could be 5 minutes, but okay, you already wrote back, so he's ready. Okay.
We good.
Like, that was the thing Coach was like adamant about whenever I was talking with him. Like, yeah, we're going, T-Bob's leave. I actually told Jay probably before I told anybody.
Yeah.
So the little lug nuts went out to the box that time. That was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't even remember. And so Jay's, very cool and talked with the little lug nuts and gave him the good word. And so I stayed after and we were talking and I was like, yeah, T-Bob's leaving and blah, blah, blah. And here's like who we're thinking about maybe replacing him with or whatever. He goes, yeah, man, love that guy. Love coming on the show. But like, you're taking over, right? And I was like, yeah, like I'm going to be the host. And like, I thought, why is he asking that question? He's like, okay, well, good. Well, I know you'll actually shoot me a text before the day of. He's like, I know you'll reach out like beforehand.
Yeah.
And so like, he was pretty adamant, like, hey,
Give me
I love
little-
coming on, but
right.
like, just give me a little heads up. So
Yeah.
yesterday I was talking back and forth with him. So we're good.
Yeah. And he answered really quickly.
Yeah. I said 7 to 10 minutes when I really meant like 4. I just felt like 7 to 10 felt better.
Yeah.
If you say 7 to 10 and you go 4, like I don't think he's going to think anything.
No.
But if I would have said, hey, we're coming to you in like 2-3 minutes, then he would have called me T-Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that. We're trying to be responsible here. Not that T wasn't responsible. We're trying to be responsible and on time-ish.
I would still say he's not responsible. I mean, Monday, he was trying to get all his stuff together to
I
get the
know.
real ID to leave the next day.
I know. I'm not trying to throw a shade at my guy. We love our guy. But
We
if there
do, but
was
that's-
one thing that he needed to improve on, maybe it was some structure in some things. Very structured in
knows
some,
that.
but yeah,
Yeah,
he does.
yeah.
That's true. He's very self-aware
It's not a stray.
of that.
Nick Underhill.
Oh, Nick did throw a
Stray.
stray. He's like, we don't have to talk any indoor. We can go straight to ball. I'm like, whoa.
He threw a stray for real.
I know. I was like, that felt
I
unneeded.
was like, yikes.
That was uncalled for.
It really
I guess
was.
you don't like Star Wars. I don't either, but my God. All right. Joe Sloan was on with us in the last segment. A lot of great stuff there. And we'll recap maybe more later on. Certainly want to get some thoughts from Flynn whenever he comes back in tomorrow. One thing I did kind of take away before we get to Jay Johnson, he mentioned different formations, and he mentioned the tight ends a couple of different times. That leads me to believe, and it's not a surprise, that LSU is going to use 12 personnel, right? They are going to use 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, and a running back. That's 12 personnel. And they are going to try to establish the run game. Now, I'm curious, if they go 12, is it going to be Bauer Sharp? Is it going to be Donovan Green? Where's Tradez Green fall into that? Will he be out wide? You can get creative with the players that they have. And Bauer Sharp is somebody that, look, LSU fans don't remember him for the trick play pass that he threw and threw an interception, right? Remember him from the tight end, and he's a really good player, versatile player, can play Y, can play F. But Donovan Green, okay, so I hand up, when he transferred in, I didn't know a whole lot about him. So I started to do a deep dive. And actually, I called Jimbo Fisher because Jimbo recruited him. He played for Jimbo at A&M, and he played more for Jimbo than he did for Elko. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? And Jimbo just said, look, the offense changed. What he was really good at, they kind of went away from. He's like, I wouldn't have done that because he was talking glowingly about Donovan Green. It's like he plays a freshman for me. He was a guy that we put on the field immediately. And I can just tell you, being in Jimbo's offense as a freshman, when your head's spinning, because it's not easy. It is not an easy offense. Now, it got me ready for the NFL, but when you're a freshman, it's not easy. The terminology and the concepts and all the things that you have to know. So the fact that Donovan Green knew Jimbo's offense and played a ton as a freshman, that lets me know kind of where he's at as far as his mindset. And I absolutely can see Sharp and Green in the game together, 12 personnel. Maybe Tradez Green is one of the receivers, but again, you can get creative. You can move those guys around, and it tells me LSU going to try to attack running the football downhill maybe a little bit more. Last year, they were a team that tried some diversity. They tried some gap scheme runs, didn't work out like I think a lot of us thought it would, certainly, through the air. And look, Caden Durham had a great year. It's not like I think he was a freshman All-American. I know he was freshman All-SEC, but that's somebody that still had a great year. It's not like LSU was awful at running the football. it's just something where they were so good throwing the football. You wanted to marry it with a better run game, and something like 12 personnel with those two tight ends tells me there's more point of emphasis to go downhill, run right at the defense, and try. This offensive line, I do think also like is better probably right now in the run game than they are in pass protection, where last year it was pass protection and not the run game. So you could see a couple of changes there. And when you start talking tight ends and 12 personnel, that's usually, kind of where that conversation goes. So certainly something to pay attention to as we get ready for fall camp coming up here in a couple of months. All right, not coming in a couple of months, but coming actually tomorrow in Hoover, Alabama. LSU baseball going to be taking on Texas A&M or the Auburn Tigers. We're going to catch up with Jay Johnson, head baseball coach for your LSU Tigers, when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to GoTommies.com. GoTommies.com is the website to see what Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding can do for you. And we always talk about all the awards that they win because they just continually, like Angie's List, like year after year after year, they win that award. But what about this? Best of Baton Rouge 225 winner, right? So the best in the 225. Best of Baton Rouge in 2025, the winner on The Advocate, Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, voted the best window company in the city. So how about that, right? There's a lot of companies that do it here in Baton Rouge, but this award, all the other awards, it tells you who does it the best, and that is Tommy and his team. Again, voted best window company in all of Baton Rouge, and they're going to blow you away with the customer service, with what they can give you as well. Literally, this says it the best. Tommy's is the place to go.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Is Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here on a Thursday morning. Very excited to catch up with our guy, LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson, here on the show. Coach, what's going on? How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. And Coach, I bet like this feeling of getting the double bye is fantastic and great. You get a chance to rest and, maybe heal up a little bit. But I bet you're chomping at the bit to play some baseball, seeing all these other teams get a chance to go out to the Hoover Met and already – have multiple games for some of them. Are you about to, be at your wits' end and ready to play a game, or are you enjoying the rest?
I think a little both. I think it was good not playing until Friday. What it did is it allowed us to come home after the South Carolina series instead of go straight to Hoover. So that was great. Players got to sleep in their own beds. We got a couple good lifting sessions in, good practice on Tuesday. We hit the cages yesterday before we headed over here, but now it's time to go. Actually went over to watch part of the Florida Ole Miss game last night in person just to kind of get my bearings in the tournament and ready to roll, and I'm sure our players are ready to go. So,
yeah, Coach, and you've been in this tournament before, obviously, but there are some changes. Like every team now made the field, no longer – the bottom two fall out. Every team, all 16, were there. Not double elimination either. Now a single elimination tournament. So, how do you feel about maybe some of the changes they've had there in Hoover?
Yeah, I think I voted for, just so all the LSU fans know, I voted to keep the double elimination tournament because I know they like coming over here. So, obviously want to go on the record and say that. I've said that many times, actually. I just really coach baseball and not try to worry about like what I can't control.
Right.
And this was kind of one of those things. Like I remember we were going around the room voting on it, and we went in alphabetical order, and I think I was only the second one that said they'd keep the double elimination. And so it was clear which direction it was headed. And so you make the best of the situation. Okay. So what is the best of this situation is we've had a really good regular season. We have some guys that we've asked a lot of, both on the mound and in the field, that, to get them rested. And the one thing I will say with this team, when we have been a little bit fresh and rested, we have played well. And so I like that part of it. We had a good day yesterday going over some things and covering some things we needed to cover here for a little while. And the guys will be excited Friday night. I will say it's weird when, there'll be a team or teams that have played 3 games before we've even completed 3 games before we've even stepped on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, no question. It's certainly a different feel. And Coach, you mentioned, getting some rest and you've played better. And one thing you could probably point to, and this is going to sound different because some people think, older player, they need more rest. Also, y'all have a lot of freshmen that have stepped up and been big parts of why you got that double bye. And I can just tell you from when I was a freshman, when I was a rookie in the NFL, that's actually your longest years, because everything kind of runs together and you've got all these different things going on leading into the next step in your journey. So I would assume actually those freshman players in the lineup, in the bullpen, wherever they might be, that it helps them as much as it helps anybody.
No doubt about that. And I think you're right. I think when you look at, on the position player side, Derek Curiel obviously played every game, hit towards the top of the order, plays full speed all the time. Yeah. So I like the fact that, for a guy like him, you get a breather. Kate Aaron-Beatty's really picked us up recently on the catching thing and done a great job, handling Anthony Ianson behind the plate and providing some good offense. Kason Evans back into the game. William Schmidt has 30 innings. So, yeah, and just the mental fatigue of what this thing is and really what the SEC has become. I mean, we talk about all the time, it's kind of like 10 super regionals and the survival of the fittest. And, even looking out on the field last night, it was actually good to see 2 different teams, 2 who we actually haven't even played. And, they just went through the same thing. So that's the common thread. And, once you get past this week, you feel like you do have an advantage because of, surviving that and coming out the other side of it.
Coach, one of the things that I appreciate about you more than almost anything, and there's a lot, the list is long and distinguished, I'll throw that out there, but the thing I enjoy the most, I think, is if you're out there, you're playing to win the game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. When you're called upon, you always go full tilt, which I appreciate. But like when you have a tournament situation like this, like what are the conversations with your assistant coaches? Because sure, you did get the double bye, but I know your personality. You're playing a game. Let's go win the game. But do you have any different conversations with it being the postseason and not the regular season?
Yeah, a little bit. I think this is a little bit of a unique situation where we're not playing till Friday. And, this is important. And LSU's had a really good history in Hoover. And obviously we want to respect that. I mean, we treat every game like a playoff game, which we will these games. But the NCAA tournament is what our program is about, And so you're starting a little bit later in this thing, you have to pay attention to how we do a couple things. And I've likened it to a couple years ago, like I said, taking Paul Skeens out, with the bases loaded. I would never do that, but he was at 31 pitches in the inning. We were going to need him fresh for the next Friday.
Yep.
Obviously, you don't want to deal with any kind of injury thing. So we made a move and pulled him out. We didn't play Tommy White in a game here. I took Nate Ackenhausen out in the championship game last year because, hey, we had 5 pitchers we were really leaning on. He was one of them.
Yep.
And we wanted to have him available for the next Friday. So sometimes you have to do those kinds of things to make sure you're aligned for next week. So there are some conversations and relayed to the players. And, I want to play 3 games because there's guys I want to get on the mound. And I think from a position player standpoint, I think seeing at bats and staying in a normal rhythm is good. We do some things in practice that I feel like are advantageous for that. But still, I mean, I think playing games is the best scenario. And so we're going to try to play 3 here. That's what we're going to do.
And, Coach, how important is it to keep the guys on the mound on schedule? Because rest is great, but, like, how much rest is too much rest? And so, like, how much does that factor into it? Like, hey, we got to get Kay, we got to get Anthony on the mound because, like, this is kind of their normal routine. And as you know way better than we do, starting pitchers, like, they want to be all about their routine.
Yeah, no doubt. That's something that has to obviously be factored in to our decision making, and we're very mindful of that because how do you get to Omaha with this team? You get to Omaha with this team with Kate Anderson and Anthony Ianson.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge part of that formula, and so doing what's best for them is the most important thing. And it's a little bit different for each guy right now, but like I said, with some of those position players we've asked a lot out of, and a couple of the bullpen guys, we've asked a lot of those 2 guys. And so I think there's a healthy balance of keeping them in rhythm, keeping them in routine, and also very fresh and sharp going into the regionals next weekend.
Catching up with LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson here on OTB. Coach, I do want to wax poetic about Anthony Ianson and just brag on him, and I know you do as well, but one thing, and so you and I both have lived in San Diego, California, so we kind of know the lay of the land. We know the universities there. We know the baseball that's played there. And it's great baseball. When I was playing for the Chargers, Tony Gwynn was the coach of San Diego State. I mean, obviously, like Chris Bryant played at USD, which you know very well. So Anthony Ianson being a UC San Diego guy, and to go from where he was, Coach, and dominant for sure, but for it to translate like it has into the SEC, no disrespect to UC San Diego, great university. Let's just say the atmosphere is a little bit different at their games than it is in the box or wherever we're talking about in the SEC. How impressive has it been for you? Because he always feels like he is in the moment, ready for the moment, and nothing gets him off his line. And just from where he was to where he is, that shouldn't be the case, but it is.
Yeah, super impressive. He's had a great season. I don't think the LSU Tigers could have asked for anything more to this point from Anthony. And the great news is he's only getting better as we're going along in the season. And yeah, it's one of those things. Like Eric Newman, the coach at UC San Diego, is actually a friend of mine. And
is he still a friend of yours now, Coach?
Well, I mean, like, here's the deal: is like this guy goes in the portal, and then it's like if I don't get him, he's going to Texas or Tennessee. And so if I don't try to get him, we're not doing our job. And it's just thank God he did. I will say this about Anthony this year, and you don't really get the portal recruiting thing in any sport, but definitely baseball unless you're in it. I'm sure basketball is very similar. As soon as we're done, or even while we're still going here, it's like a 45-day window. Like if you miss either with getting the wrong guy or not get the guy that you need, that next season's going to be hard. And, we might have been able to find a way, but I'm sure much happier with having him in that rotation. He's an All-American, slam dunk, first-team All-American, in my opinion.
Yep.
And it's been everything that we want and thought he would be, and maybe even a little bit more. So I'm glad you brought him up. He deserves the credit and attention. I think he'll be very happy come the MLB draft, and I think a team will be really happy. But I'm happy to roll him out there about 5 or 6 more times for the Tigers. So.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Coach, like, all jokes aside, we're joking, but like, you have a friend that's coaching out there, and if a player is in the portal, obviously you have to do your due diligence. But it is a little bit like speed dating, because like, you don't get a chance to know the player like you did in high school recruiting. So I'm sure it is valuable, though, like if a player is in a portal, to have somebody that you trust when you ask your opinion of a player.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was kind of an odd situation. I've told this story before. I was up at the Cape Cod League. I think I was going to meet with Chris Stanfield. Like, he'd already gone in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just happened to go to his game, and Anthony was pitching against his team. And I was like, holy cow, this guy looks pretty good. And then I looked at it, and I was like, wow, great for UC San Diego. And I put the thing back in my pocket. And then when he actually went in the portal, I'd forgotten his name by that time, honestly. Right. And then I was like, hey, who is Ianson? When somebody from pro baseball told me he was going in the portal. And then they said UC San Diego, and I was like, oh my God, like, we better get on this. And then getting on the phone with him for the first time and just talking to him, it's like, I got a pretty good feeling about what this dude's all about just as a person. Yeah. And then when we brought him on the visit, it was like, okay, we have to close this thing. It was like the movie The Boiler Room. You know what I mean? Like, we have to get this guy on board. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's good to have good resources across the country. The California thing has obviously really helped us here, with Paul Skeens, Bird, Jump, Anthony, obviously Riley Cooper had played for me, but it's kind of cool that the pitching kind of pipeline from the West making its way to LSU has been pretty good for the Tigers.
No doubt about it. Look, as you and I both, we spent time on the West Coast. We're now here in Baton Rouge. Let's just continue to bring more and more and more, because it's certainly been a nice pipeline for LSU, just like you said, Coach. So, hey, you're the man. I know today you're trying to get ready for either the Auburn Tigers or Texas A&M. We owe both those teams, so it doesn't matter which one LSU plays. Looking forward to watching the team play in Hoover, Coach, and we appreciate the time as always.
You got it. Have a great day.
All right, there he is, LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson. Always good enough to join us here weekly on OTB. All right, we'll step away one final time here in hour number 2. We still got Munchies with Chef Michael Johnson at 9:15. A lot still coming your way, so stay locked in to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. And if you're looking for a midsize SUV, multiple options. If you're looking for a truck, multiple options. If you're looking for a van, they've got the Sienna. You can get it murdered out Mini. You know why? Because there's not one in town anymore. You would be one of one. That one is in Chicago. So if you want the murdered out Mini in Baton Rouge, you can get that done. Full-size SUV, the Sequoia, they've got that. Sedans, hybrids, whatever, you name it, they've got it. And they have it if you're buying new. They have it if you're leasing, like I lease a Highlander. Love it. Very easy process. We had multiple options. I didn't think a Highlander would work for us. Actually, it's the perfect vehicle for us. Renting, summer vacation, this week, next week, that's coming up. Reserve that rental today. Again, call Miss Lisa Sessions in the rental department. Reserve it, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet.
This is Off the Bench.
These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side says she got one on the way. These are my confessions. Man, all
right, welcome back in, OTB. Just caught up with LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson. Going to have Hunt come in at 9 o'clock to kind of break down the SEC baseball tournament to this point and what to look forward to with LSU tomorrow, even though we don't know their opponent, and also we'll berate him about not paying up on his 5-year-old bet. You've heard me and Coach Jay kind of go back and forth about living in San Diego and the West Coast, and I'll tell the story again. I've told it 100 times, but it is always one that, look, I'll never forget because he impressed me so much. During the NFL lockout, we couldn't go to our team facility for the Chargers. So we had to work out at the University of San Diego. We went to San Diego State a little bit, but USD was very, hey, use our facilities, whatever you need, basketball court, weight room, field, whatever. And so we went there. Well, Jay Johnson was the assistant head coach, recruiting coordinator at the University of San Diego. And he would have these players working on the side, and he would be working, and I'm like, dude, that guy's a grinder. Who is this dude? I mean, he never stopped working. He was always doing something, either on the field, on the phone, whatever it was. And so I find out his name, I talk with him a little bit, and you kind of forget. And he was there past, I was in Denver, he was still there, but I remember he got his first head coaching job at Nevada. I'm like, oh, cool, man, that's that coach that I caught up with in the weight room when we were at USD. And then followed his career, and he goes to Arizona. He started having all this success. And so if you go back and listen to when LSU was trying to find a replacement for Paul Maneri, man, I was like, please let them interview Jay Johnson. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen. He's a West Coast guy. They're going to get somebody that's got SEC ties, and I am so glad that they did. They brought him in, and now he's won a national championship. His overall record in 3 seasons is 137-62. So certainly, appreciate Coach Jay Johnson, not only for what he's done on the field, but coming on with us every single week as well. So looking forward to breaking down the Tigers in the SEC tournament. This is somebody, man, that you knew, even as an assistant, he was going to be a good one. And love the way he attacks every single game. He said it there. They're going to do that. They're going to be smart about it as well. So we'll see. We'll see what the pitch counts are. Wants to keep everybody, obviously, on a normal-ish kind of schedule. So I'm sure Hunt's already figured it all out. He's got the math all done and ready to go. So again, we'll catch up with Hunt when we come back. We still got Chef Michael Johnson as well. Stay locked in. It is OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, go to coolprohvac.com. That is coolprohvac.com. Right now, it is already hot, and it's only going to get hotter here in Baton Rouge. And so make sure that your AC is working like it's supposed to. You can schedule a service to make sure, get everything up and running, make sure that you don't have any faults right now. But also, like, sign up for the Pro Plan, because if you're a part of the Pro Plan, they're going to make sure, right? $99. That's it, $99, one-time fee. And it does not matter how many units you have. They're going to come service those units. An incredible value. Look, I've been doing this a long time. I don't remember a value anything close to what they're offering over at Cool Pro. So get that done. You can also call them at 225-350-4397. Remember, no dispatch fee, which is always a big deal. They come in to look at nothing and they leave and they're like, hey, it costs this much. You don't get that with Cool Pro. 1 hour wait times. I mean, so convenient. The best out there in the business. CoolProHVAC.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
Yo, and welcome back in. Hour number 3 of OTB here on this Thursday morning. We're going to talk some LSU baseball with our guy, Hunt Palmer. Of course, Hunt's going to be following us here on 104.5. Heard you heard about the bet again yesterday.
Yeah, Cassie brought it up.
Yeah.
So it's not a baseball segment. This is a segment.
It's a baseball segment. It's a baseball segment. But there's interest, as Alondra said, on the bet now. Like,
I don't know if that's true.
Dude, we're talking like almost half a decade, probably over half a decade.
When do you think that was? When did they hire?
I don't even know. 2021 feels like that.
Oh, no, this was way pre-COVID.
19? I don't know.
I don't know.
You're right, because I was living at my house in Riverbend, so you're right.
Oh, it's definitely pre-COVID.
Either way, that's even worse for you, by the way. It doesn't help your case. It hurts your case. We're all going to be at SEC Media Days.
That's true.
All right. So OTB.
Wait a second.
Your show. Hold up. Your show and AFR. Now, I'm not going to go as far to invite Moscona to this steak dinner, but I think me and Flynn are entitled to a steak dinner now.
Why on earth is Matt Flynn entitled to anything?
It's interest.
I don't think so. Maybe 2 for you, but Flynn is entitled to nothing. That doesn't make any sense.
That's my new partner.
I was a little because those dinners at SEC Media Day can grow by the hour, and all of a sudden you can be at a table with like 14 people.
Oh yeah,
we don't need that happening.
No, it could be intimate.
Second of all, I mean, I can look up Spotrac. We're not getting this guy a steak dinner based on a Les Miles bet.
That's part of it. Is because you're going to be buying someone that made $30 million in his career a steak dinner.
No, I'm not doing that. Not going to happen.
You can look up mine. It's not as impressive. I can promise you that. All right. But I can get one at SEC Media Day.
We won't rule it out.
We can go out to dinner, talk about Shreveport and how great it is, City of Dreams.
I'm headed there in just a number of hours. I guess if I do math there, that's 6 hours I'll be headed there.
What are you doing for the show tomorrow?
I'm not doing the show tomorrow.
Who's doing your show?
Musso.
All right. Where are you going to Shreveport for?
Golf tournament.
Southern Trace?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who's golf tournament?
It's the member guest for Southern Trace Country Club.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. You play that every year?
I do.
What's your best finish?
We won our flight one year.
Okay.
A little bit of a choke in the playoff.
Sounds like a lot of bits.
7 iron, left, water.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
But we won our flight.
Yeah. How's that course now? Have they upgraded it?
Looking
at
fantastic.
all?
They have over the last 4 years.
Okay.
It looks very,
That's what
very
I thought.
good.
I thought
it hasn't rained in like a week up there. They were fighting the rain in a big way for a while there in April, but think all is good.
I thought I remembered seeing old Timmy B talk about they upgraded the course. It looks great.
They have a lot.
And
it does.
Timmy B likes
excited.
to put his lefty swing up on the Instagram
and Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he likes golf.
He does,
and he likes Southern
Trace.
Trace.
Got time to play.
Speaking of time to play, LSU's had some time to hang out.
Yeah, and not play.
I mean, just rest, and probably a good thing, and probably like chomping at the bits at this point to get a game in. They're going to play the winner of Auburn and Texas A&M, both teams that you kind of owe a little bit. You lost the series to both, got swept by one. What do you think, though, LSU's mindset is? And we just caught up with Jay, and Jay.
I heard
he
it.
wants to win every single game. But what do you think the mindset's going to be for them, knowing that they're going to be hosting postseason baseball?
Yeah, they're going to definitely host next weekend, and I believe they will host the following weekend unless it just absolutely goes to trash over the next 3 days. They lose and a bunch of other teams win. But I think everything's okay at this point. I think Cade Anderson will start tomorrow, and I think he'll throw 70, 75 pitches, assuming that, like he talked to you about, there's no 37-pitch inning that you've got to get out of at some point. And I think he wants to get Zach Cowan back out there. I think he wants to see Jaden Newt. And I think he would like to win the game and get Anthony Ianson another start as well and stop him at 75 pitches. I think that you can certainly hurt yourself by overextending, but LSU has put themselves in a position where they could only play 3 games. You're not going to overextend yourself in 3 games, especially 3 inconsequential games. So it's a great spot to be in. Like last year, they played Tuesday to Sunday. And I'm not here to tell you that Christian Little got hurt because of that, but he certainly got hurt during that. Yeah. And I could also make the argument that he could have helped in Chapel Hill. You might have been 1 pitcher short. So they're not in that position this year. It's a good spot to be in. They can go out there and play a little bit free. You'd like to see Anderson throw it well. You'd like to see maybe a little bit of Shores and Newt because they've kind of been guys you can trust the last 2 weeks and kind of see where the chips fall. My ideal scenario is 18 innings. Win on Friday, come back Saturday, get the guys you need, just head on home on the bus on Sunday. That's what I would like to see.
All right, yeah, and I'm with you. There's some pitchers that I'd like to see as well, but Cooper Williams is somebody that I want to see. And I know he had 1 pitch he'd like back against South Carolina, but also he did strike out 2 in that inning. He does feel like, Hunt, that he is making a case to be included in high leverage situations.
or low leverage situations, which but those happen in a regional.
They do.
Somebody's got to pitch it when you're up 6 runs at some point. And so making sure that that's not Zach Cowan, and that's not just running the rope out. It's, hey, we got a 6-run lead. Don't let it get to 3.
Right.
So a regional is a collection of outs. It's going to go Friday to potentially Monday, and you're going to have to use a lot of arms, and we've seen that over the years. And you don't want to have to ask Gage Jump to come back at the end. You don't want to have to ask Jared Poche to start on Friday and then come back against Rice and save the day on Monday with 7 innings. Like, you'd like to make it a little easier on yourself than that. So I'm with you with Cooper Williams. I think he's looked very good. And at the same time, Connor Ware has had massive control issues. So if you're looking for a lefty, I don't know that Cooper Williams hasn't usurped that role from him. And that's, another guy you'd like to get a look at over the weekend.
Right now, if you were playing in a regional and let's say for whatever reason,
UNO might win the South. Are you talking about 4 seed?
No. I'm just talking about if you split. Like, for whatever reason, like you split in the postseason and you had to go to a 3rd starter. Like, who would that be right now?
Depends on who has pitched previously, but I think probably Evans. Yeah. I mean, I would have no problem with Jaden Newt go out there. But right now you feel like he's probably limited to 3 to 4 innings. Like, he got to the end of that rope in South Carolina and gave up the big triple and the big single.
Yeah.
But maybe he can extend a little bit more than that. Evans showed you 6 innings against Tennessee a month ago. So that's certainly an option.
So you like Chase Shores out of the pen right now with the way he's pitching?
I do. I think that's a guy that has settled into a little bit of a groove there. I don't think he would balk at the notion that he needed to start a game, but he's right now looks like he can kind of let it rip for 3 innings, and that looks really good.
It feels like he's way more comfortable with his arm right now. And that's tough. Like, coming off the surgery that he had, and it's a long road back. I mean, a very long road back for him. And I'm not saying he was playing cautious, but it does feel like he's just ripping it now.
It is. It's hard to fathom a guy that literally throws 100 miles an hour, most of the time sits about 98, has that much run on his fastball, and can throw a decent slider. It's not a great slider, but a decent slider. We were sitting there at the end of April, and his batting average against in the SEC was over 300.
Yeah.
That's almost impossible. And so I think for him, maybe shorter spurts, more fastballs, and just kind of maybe aim over the middle of the plate and let that fastball run and see what they can do. The other part of this, and Jay mentioned it in your segment, and I'm going to write a story on this, and it'll be something that I talk about on my show a bunch next week. Next weekend does not look like the 10 weeks prior, because you're not playing Arkansas. You're not playing Tennessee. You're not playing some of these teams that just have elite level talent.
Right.
Your game next Friday is not going to look like that. Your game Sunday night, even if you have to go on a Monday, like, you're going to be facing guys that throw 87 miles an hour. It's just, it is a different level of baseball, because all the mid-majors that are really good go play in the SEC. All the guys from the West now are flying over and playing in the SEC. So you have played far more difficult competition. The only reason you lost in the regional last year is because you put yourself in such a bad position. You had to go play the best non-SEC team on the road. You beat them once, and you could have beat them a second time.
I mean, you were pitches away.
Right. But it's going to look different next week, and that's something we got to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. You started to mention maybe UNO. They've got a matchup with Houston Christian coming up in the Southland Conference Championship Series, and neither one of those teams was supposed to be there.
Southland was good this year.
It was. UNO, I believe, the 8th seed. Houston Christian was a 6th seed. So a lot of us thought maybe other teams would be there, and it's one of the things where those tickets are going to get punched and get a bid stolen from somebody. But you think maybe UNO has a leg up?
I think if UNO wins, they're probably coming to Baton Rouge.
You think maybe Houston Christian wins, they go to Texas?
Probably Austin. That would be my guess. You never know. I mean, Northwestern State went to Corvallis with LSU one year, and LSU's hosted Utah Valley. Is it Utah Valley? I think it was Utah Valley that came in here. Northeastern came in here one year as well, which
Northeastern is really good.
And maybe a 2 seed this year.
Yeah, shout out to Glavin.
Yeah, and look, I'd take them as my 2 seed. I know they've won a lot of games, but that's not a team that's gonna throw up. I'd much rather them as a 2 seed than like Oklahoma, who can't come here, but you got Kyson Witherspoon staring you down. It's not gonna look like that. But UNO, I think, would be likely to come here, like we've seen Tulane in the past, we've seen Southeastern in the past, we've seen ULM in the past, we've seen ULL in the past. It's just that kind of tends to work itself out.
I'm trying to think, like, what was the latest? The latest one was Arizona is a 2 seed, Miami's a 3 on D1 baseball. Miami got just housed by Cal 12-2 the other day, so now they're kind of watching and making sure they don't get their bid stolen. But like Arizona to LSU, it makes all the sense in the world because of the juicy storyline.
Yeah, and then Coastal was on the other side, and Coastal obviously has been to Baton Rouge to punch their ticket, and they beat Jay Johnson that year in the final. So there's overlying storylines there. I'll be candid like this, and you know how I'm wired. You're not wired the same way. Just keep the SEC teams out of here. Give me somebody that might be a little bit starstruck. You can tell me about Stony Brook and Coastal all you want. That's a pretty small sample considering the last 30 years. Yeah. I'll take my chances with somebody who's never seen anything like this, and all the SEC teams have for now 11 weeks.
Yeah, it is a little bit, if it's not UNO, like to your point, I'm looking here and I'm like, there's not that typical Louisiana baseball year where you have Louisiana Tech, who's a really good team, who's going to make the postseason. You mentioned like the Southland Conference champions typically out of Louisiana. ULL's typically always in the postseason. Tulane's typically in the postseason. Like, there might only be one team from Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, Southeastern had a good year, but they didn't get it done when they had to. It's 40 miles outside of Louisiana, but Lamar had a great 40-win season, and obviously with Will Davis with ties here, they didn't get it done in the Southland tournament. And so McNeese had an awesome season, and they didn't get it done in the Southland tournament, so those teams are going to come up just a little bit short. So it'll be interesting. I'll watch the selection show, and I'll grind it, and I'll figure out what the path looks like. Yeah. But it's, I think LSU's in really good shape right now. I'll have my eye on Florida State tomorrow. I'll have my eye on Hawaii this week, which is ridiculous. And I'll have my eye on Oregon as well. And we'll see kind of how things go.
Explain to our audience the Hawaii.
It's overkill, but that's literally my job to analyze this whole thing. And right now, Oregon State's RPI is ahead of LSU's at 6. Their quadrant run record is decent. It's 10-9. Yeah. If Hawaii falls out of the top 60 and they're 60th, they lose 3 wins, and their quad 1 record goes to under 500. Yep. I don't think to be clear, I don't think their case is worth a flip right now. I feel bad for them.
They've been on the road a ton.
I know. Their conference left them. Yeah. I feel bad about that. They did a great job trying to put a schedule together, but they lost all 4 games to Oregon that they played, and I don't count a 3 out of 4 against Hawaii as doing all that much. But their RPI is good, and right now their quad 1 record is comparable, even though a little less than LSU. Yeah. If Hawaii loses today, then all of a sudden they lose those quad 1 wins, and it's very difficult for me to find 8 teams to put ahead of LSU. I think LSU's in fine shape.
Why Big West tournament, right?
Big West tournament. They beat the Gauchos, UC Santa Barbara last night.
We need them to face the Anteaters, UC Irvine.
They have UC Irvine today.
That's right.
They have them today.
That's the best team in the Big West.
That is, and they play them today. So go Anteaters.
If you're someone of our age, which I'm a man, I'm 40. I've said it 4 times already today. Big West baseball used to be like some really good teams. Cal State and Long Beach.
It makes the 10 weeks that we watch the SEC so compelling because Anthony Ianson is here and because Tommy White does come here and Thatcher Hurd and Gage Jump do come here, and it makes it very compelling. Jacob Berry comes here. I do miss that presence out there and going to Omaha and seeing something different. I mean, LSU gets to Omaha, they're probably playing Arkansas and Tennessee the first 2 days. Like, that's just how it's probably going to go.
Right.
And that bores me a little bit. But that just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, us growing up, you were going to see one of those teams out there.
And Stanford's not as good right now, and UCLA is not what they once were, and I think Oregon State's going to die on the vine because they don't have a
UCLA will host a regional, but it will be one of the 13-14 range, somewhere around there. All right, Hunt, you're the man. We appreciate you hopping on with us. Me, Matt Flynn, steak dinner confirmed right here in Atlanta.
I don't know if that was
for
confirmed.
SEC Media Days. I truly appreciate you reaching out and paying for a man who made $30 million in his NFL career a nice steak dinner in the city where players play.
Waffle House got a great steak. We'll hit you up.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Chef Michael Johnson when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And you can go to the website. You see right there, if you're watching on YouTube, bottom right corner, that is a chat agent. So that's going to pull up, okay? And any question that you might have, they can answer it right there on the homepage of the website. But also, don't forget, it's a great tool. You can see cases they can handle for you in the courtroom, things they've already done, things they're going to continue to do. Past client results are right there on the homepage as well. So people here in Louisiana and the team that they've worked with over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Also, at Get Gordon's going to be the handle on all major social media to see what they're doing throughout the communities here in the state of Louisiana, because they are top to bottom, east to west, everywhere throughout the state. So, again, speaking of state of Louisiana, it is your area code, followed by 888-8888. Pick up the phone, give them a call. They're going to be able to help you, again, anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Go to the website, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in OTB. It is Thursday at 9:15, so you know what that means. It is time for some Munchies questions with our guy, Chef Michael Johnson, LSU Executive Chef. Chef, always a pleasure. Hope you're doing well. Today is also R&B Thursday, as you know. What is your go-to R&B artist?
Gosh, man, I don't know.
I mean, you got to have one. You're a chef. I mean,
it's been a while since I listened to R&B. I mean, I listen to everything, honestly, but nothing's striking my mind right now. I apologize.
Just go Usher. I mean,
there you go.
Yeah, if you go Usher, you're not going to be, you're not going to go wrong.
You know, believe it or not, my first concert I went to was Boyz II Men.
Oh, wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is funny. The first concert that I ever went to was New Kids on the Block, and you know who opened for them? Boyz II Men.
No, you're right. That was it. It was Boyz II Men opening for New Kids on the Block. You're right. Yeah, that was the same.
Oh, see, I knew it. I knew it. I mean, that's why we're boys. Look, I mean, going out there to New Kids on the Block with little Boyz II Men, I can appreciate that. Chef, before we get to Munchies questions, so Hunt Palmer owes me a steak dinner. He lost a bet, right? And I think it was 2018 or 2019, and the bet was that if Kansas won a Big 12 game under Les Miles, any game, he owed me a steak dinner. Well, they did. They won one. They beat Texas Tech. And we continue to bring it up time and time again. I feel like in the world of food, like that means something. Like that is a bet, like a nice steak dinner.
Yep.
How can you renege on a bet like that when it's been this long and you see this person every single day?
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk because I've actually reneged on a bet before to one of my best friends. So, yeah, but our bet was over food. My buddy had bet me I couldn't eat it was like a gallon of cottage cheese and a quart of milk, and I drank the quart of milk and had like three bites of cottage cheese left. And I looked at him, and it was $100, right? And I looked at him. I was like, I got to stop eating. He's like, I knew you couldn't do it. I was like, no, I could do it. But if I eat these last 3 bites of cottage cheese, I'm never going to be able to eat it again. and so I decided I was going to quit. And he still fusses at me about that.
He should. Like a bet's a bet,
Yeah.
Chef. I'm a little disappointed in you.
I get it. I know. I'm shamed about it, man.
Yeah.
And you should get your bet. And I probably will make good on my bet before life is over.
Yeah, no, you won't. Hashtag Munchies. What is your preferred cut of steak?
Oh, I'm actually a strip loin guy. I like the texture of the sirloin, the strip loin. I like the marbling of it. It's not too fatty. It's like a marriage between the ribeye and the fillet to me. Like it's got the firm texture but not too much fat.
Hashtag Munchies. Give me some crock pot recipes, please. I have Mississippi pot roast as my number one right now.
Deer roast is actually one of my favorite things to cook in a pot roast. Slow and low. I've said it before, but I take a knife and you make like little hollows with the point of a knife, and you stuff garlic slivers in there.
Yeah.
And let it cook nice and slow, and it imparts the garlic flavor on them. And sometimes I'll even blacken it before I go in there and sear it off. So it's technically it's called a braise when you do it that way. Instead of just throwing it in the pot and letting it cook, you put it in a pan and sear it off, and then put it in the pot and let it cook. But deer roasts are one of my favorite things to cook in there. I mean, any large, like top sirloin, bottom round, stuff like that. Those are all good things that have a lot of connective tissue that require a lot of time to cook down. Are always going to work well. Chicken thighs actually are really good in a roast or in a crock pot if you let them sit in there. I do sear those off as well, just to put a little color on them. Matter of fact, if I'm cooking something in liquid, I'm probably going to sear it first, just because I like the caramelized color and flavor on it before you put it in the liquid.
Chef, I haven't there's not a dish that I've had that has involved deer that's been bad. I've tried a lot of different ones, a lot of different types, a lot of different just straight up deer and in something mixed in whatever it is. I still have yet to find something I don't enjoy.
So somebody just introduced me to Dave's deer burritos the other day, and I'm surprised that they were delicious. And my son actually ate 3 to my 2, and so I was like, okay, well, this is gonna work. So kudos to them. They do make a good deer product.
All right, hashtag Munchies. What are some Bavarian dishes I can make?
Bavarian?
Yeah, that's what it says. Bavarian. Yeah.
I like schnitzel.
He says besides that. Oh, sorry, I missed that part.
Oh,
it's the only one he says besides. Yeah, sorry, missed that part.
Most of the Bavarian dishes that I'm familiar with are like, some kind of sausage or I like Bavarian, or I like the warm potato salad.
Yeah.
I like German kraut. And I like the red kraut instead of like the traditional, like white sauerkraut. They have a red kraut that's good. I've not spent a whole lot of time in Germany. I mean, most of the Bavarian things that I'm familiar with are pastries instead of actually food.
That's speaking my language.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of a sweet tooth, so I keep hidden most of the time. But German pastries and Bavarian pastries are delicious, man. They do them right.
Hashtag Munchies. Favorite chef or restaurant movie?
The one, there's 2 actually, and you're going to laugh at me because of the first one, because it's Ratatouille. It's the cartoon.
Chef, I literally watched Ratatouille with my daughter last night. Swear to God, yeah.
I love Ratatouille.
It's a great
man.
movie.
It does it portrays the traditional kitchen, the French kitchen, with the exceptionally accurately. The other one is the one the Menu, where
great movie.
Yeah. I kind of like how they poke at all the different types of foodies out there a little bit. That think that that the restaurant belongs to them, I suppose. And I don't know. It's kind of a poke back, and I like that. But also I like the ending where he acknowledges, the young lady and gives her the burger, or gives her life because, she pays attention to the details and asks for a burger. And sometimes it is just about how you get your start. I started my way up. God, I hate to admit this on radio right now, but one of the first jobs that I had in a kitchen was actually at a Taco Bell. And
whatever, Taco Bell at 3 a.m. nothing's better.
Well, especially when you're 16 years old, right?
That's right.
That was real, and I've never gone back to fast food because of my experience.
That's all you need to say, right?
It's easy for me not to eat fast food because of my experience there. Also,
I think we all probably know that, but we still continue to do it for some unknown reason. Hashtag Munchies. If you were to start your own food competition show, what would the challenges be like? Who would you get to be the judges?
That's a good one, man. I always like Iron Chef style, and I think you got to have some really high class judges from around, and the chefs. I mean, it would be kind of cool to do it instead of world cuisine, have one focus. And I don't know, maybe this happens and I just don't watch TV, but specifically on the regions of the United States or the Americas that are like Southwest and Cajun Creole, and like Northeast. I mean, you would probably wouldn't have too many Midwestern competitions there, but I don't know. I think you have to have somebody who really knows food well, a well-renowned chef. I think like Jacques Pepin comes to mind because he just understands food very well. I kind of like the idea of having somebody famous there, just because it attracts people, right? And people, kind of pay attention to that. I think it would be kind of neat to have somebody young there, like not a child, but like a teen or something, because kids have different taste buds than adults do. So somewhere a mixture of that,
Okay, I don't want to put one in your brain. I'll ask you the broad question. You mentioned regions here in this country. Which one do you think is the hardest to replicate? Like of different regions, Southwest and here in Louisiana, Northeast, whatever. Like, which one do you think was the most difficult to make it feel authentic?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about authenticity, but I think because so many people in Louisiana in particular, like they have such varying ideas of what one particular dish is, right? Like gumbo has a broad spectrum of flavors and textures across Louisiana. I think, like the South in particular, Louisiana has to be one of the more complicated ones, because just when you think you have the recipe down, you have somebody that comes in and says, that's not how we do it from where I'm from. I mean, even crawfish, like, I mean, there's indifference.
T-Bob does his crawfish, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely does this. Definitely now does in Chicago. So, yeah, it's a great answer. I'm right there with you, because you can have 17 different answers from 17 different people in Louisiana. Go ahead.
Well, I want to go back to your question about the cooking competition, because this is something that always has bothered me. I think the competition. Have you seen the competition that's about sword making? It's like
Forged
and Fire. There you go.
Yeah.
So I think it would be kind of neat to have the competition change like that, where you have a couple of quick competitions, but the last competition you can take as much time as you want.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's reminiscent of the restaurant to have these oh crap moments where you have to throw something together. But most chefs, you're not going to get the top quality food out of them unless you let them fully prepare the dish. And really wonderful dishes aren't prepared in 30 minutes or aren't prepared in 1 hour. Like if you take barbecue, for instance, that's a 3-day process if you're doing it right. I think, smoking or braising or even preparing foods, like brining it, resting it, seasoning it. I think that would probably be a piece of it and allow the competition to take some time.
That's actually really well said, because I hadn't even thought about that. There's certain foods that, they're just better with time and you're rushing it.
Absolutely.
So, that's actually a good point. Hey, maybe, look, I've had TV shows I've tried to pitch before about don't call it a comeback with old football players. Maybe we can pitch this one as well and just put them all together. So there we go.
Well, I mean, a football player, an athlete on the judging panel would make sense. I mean, everybody.
Big Fave loves to eat. Put him on there.
There you go. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll wear his true 3X shirt that he should instead of that XL. All right, last one here, Chef. Hashtag Munchies. What is the strangest theme you've ever been directed to cater toward?
Theme.
So I guess like maybe if you've been catering something, hey, here's the vibe of the party. Here's what we kind of want.
Gosh, I've catered a lot of different things, man. I've catered bar mitzvahs and like I have. I can't think of. I don't know. I catered an electric music party one time, which was pretty weird. Yeah, exactly. Like, these people are not eating food. Yeah, that was. I admired Paul Allen when he was alive. He would have these electric music nights at one of the facilities that he owned, and it was meant to give the city kids kind of comfort and a place to go to. It's like they knew what was going on there. It was open. It was openly allowed for them to do what they needed to, as long as it was like within like they couldn't leave the building, and if like they were going to the bathroom to do something, like it was allowed, but you couldn't come in and out and I don't know. They weren't using drugs right in front of you, but you knew that everybody there was on drugs. You know what I mean? But they also had paramedics there, and they had like it was a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So I guess I could respect what it was to some degree, but having food there just did not make sense to me. So yeah, that was probably one of the oddest things that I've catered to. Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like that one certainly should be up in the conversation. Chef, you're the man. We appreciate it. We look forward to it every single Thursday. Enjoy the long weekend, and we'll catch up again with you next week.
Take care, Jake.
All right, Chef Michael Johnson, executive chef there for LSU Athletics. All right, when we come back, there is some news involving a Saints quarterback, one that's actually still on the roster. Some injury news when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, as we've been telling you over the last couple of weeks, man, we are so fired up to have Dos Equis on the OTB team. It was nice to find out yesterday that organically it just happened, because he doesn't think of things. Matt Flynn found out that we are now part of Dos Equis, and he's like, that's my favorite beer. So it plays really well for the new OTB. And as we've been telling you, whether you're tailgating outside of Tiger Stadium, watching the Saints on Sunday, or just kicking back with your crew, Dos Equis brings that bold flavor and smooth finish that turns ordinary into legendary. It's not just beer, it's the beer of champions, or at least the beer of guys who feel like champions. Matt is kind of a champion, Super Bowl national champion, but he also feels like a champion more than he probably should. But either way, Dos Equis is his go-to. It's our go-to. It should be your go-to. Drink responsibly. Dos Equis, the official beer of unforgettable sports moments.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar.
This is Off the Bench.
G's up, you know how we do this. I'm the kind of brother who've been doing it my way, getting my bread for years in my career.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. As we know, the New Orleans Saints quarterback competition is really starting to heat up. It is now a three-man race as Derek Carr retires from the Saints, clears the picture a little bit. So Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener going to be in that quarterback battle. All very young quarterbacks, third-year, second-year rookie players. And we're wondering, would they bring in a veteran quarterback? Would it be Aaron Rodgers? Or maybe even like a journeyman, somebody else that's played maybe 8 to 10 years and they've started a handful of games, maybe been more of a career backup, but just to have a veteran presence in that room. It doesn't look like the Saints are going to do that. It looks like they're going to roll with these three quarterbacks in an open competition, but one of the quarterbacks is injured, and it is quarterback Jake Haener. So Adam Schefter put it out there a little bit earlier in the tweet, reads like this. Saints quarterback Jake Haener, part of a three-way competition to become the team's starting quarterback, suffered an oblique strain at the end of Wednesday's practice and is now expected to miss a couple of weeks. Haener likely will miss the remainder of OTAs, but is expected to be ready for the start of training camp. Now, I do feel like this is important because Jake Haener, he's got starts. They did draft him in the 4th round. Remember, they drafted him ahead of, where they drafted Spencer Rattler. Not in the same draft, but one's a 4th round pick, one's a 5th round pick. But this is a time where you want to put your best foot forward. You want to be in the quarterback competition. You want to be throwing with your receivers, with your tight ends, with your running backs, because just because you're not in New Orleans does not mean you're not going to get together. Like these quarterbacks, and they're all going to maybe be in different spots, but like they'll invite you out to their hometown, or they'll invite you to a campus, or they'll stay in the city and you'll go out there and you'll throw even when the team's not all together. And that's where like organically, like you start to maybe separate yourself from some of the other quarterbacks if you can create that relationship with your receivers. Like Peyton Manning used to have everybody at Duke, and you go to Duke, or you'd go to Manning Passing Academy in Thibodaux, and you go out there and you run routes for Peyton Manning, and like he wanted to create kind of that chemistry. Now, Peyton Manning wasn't in a quarterback competition, obviously, but I'm giving you an example of what goes on even when you're not there in New Orleans, like leading in to training camp. And so Jake Haener, to me, was always number 3 in this battle already. And it's going to be between Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. Jake Haener is somebody that I think maybe still makes the roster, but I didn't really know where he fit in the quarterback competition. And now this certainly is going to put him behind the 8 ball. And so now we turn our attention, as most of us already did, but certainly now with this injury, even more so, to Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. And I can tell you, look, I talked with Tyler Shuck yesterday. I was supposed to record an interview with him. It was 6:30, and he reached out. He's like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I am actually still in the quarterback room. We are still watching tape. And it was 6:25 at night, and during OTAs. That doesn't happen, right? OTAs, typically you're done 2 o'clock, maybe 3 at the latest, and then you go back home. And you get back up there early the next morning, but it's not like these long days like it is during the season, during training camp. But that's what they're doing. That's what's going on right now. He's like, look, I got this meeting, I got that meeting. And I'm like, my guy, I have been through this. I understand. But it's been refreshing, kind of having conversations with him, because Tyler Shuck's ready to go. All jokes aside, this is somebody who's incredibly mature. We know he's going to turn 26 when the season starts, but this is somebody, he's married. He's been settled down. He is all focused on ball all the time. Every time I've talked with Tyler Shuck, he has been doing something in a meeting room, a throw-in session on the side, whatever it might be. So when you look at his frame, which is different than anybody else in this competition, right? He's every bit of 6'5". He's got the strong arm. He's got the leadership qualities, but he's also got some speed, right? Ran a very impressive 40 at the NFL Combine. When you look at how he's preparing to be the starter, I'm not saying that Spencer Rattler's not. Spencer Rattler, to me, is somebody that completely humbled himself, in the best way possible. We all saw the Netflix show, and as a 17-year-old, look, we all be idiots if we're 17 on a camera. I know I would be. If you say you wouldn't, you're lying to yourself. We're 17, right? And I've been a part of those reality shows. Hey, producers hey, do this. So you're 17, so you go do it. I don't base my judgment on Spencer Rattler off that show. But getting to know Spencer Rattler at the Senior Bowl and following him, this is somebody that humbled himself, matured throughout the entire process. You talk with Shane Beamer, and he can't say enough great things about Spencer Rattler and who he is. So Spencer Rattler's in this competition, but I bring up all the things that Tyler Shuck's doing right now because I do think he's the most talented of the quarterback room. I think if he doesn't go through those injuries that he went through in college, we know who Tyler Shuck is. I'm saying household name type stuff before this NFL draft, because a lot of people say, well, it feels like he's just now came onto the scene. We don't really know. It's a one-hit wonder, a 1-year sample size. It's because he went through some major injuries, and injuries are a concern for him because he has been through multiple different places. But if he was healthy, because when he was healthy, he played really, really well. So now this, to me, it was already turning itself into a 2-quarterback battle, and Jake Haener was on the outside looking in. Now that he's injured oblique, that's one of those ones where if you rush it back, one throw, you're right back to ground zero. So I think he's out. I do, and I know it's early. We're sitting here May the 22nd. I'm kind of calling it. I think that he was already there, but now with this injury, it truly does feel like it is a two-person quarterback race, and I would say Tyler Shuck does have right now a lead on Spencer Rattler, even though Spencer Rattler started games last year. He threw for 1,300-plus yards. He threw for 4 scores, did have the 5 interceptions, but it's not enough of a sample size, I think, to say, well, he's got starts, he's a veteran. He's not a veteran. He's a second-year player. So at the end of the day, you selected Tyler Shuck, 40th overall, the highest quarterback you've taken since Archie Manning. We all know that, right? So now it's a 2-person race. I think you'll start to really see him hone in on who the guy is going to be moving forward. Cannot wait to see what Kellen Moore, what this offense is going to look like what is going to be the identity of this offense. You look at the weapons, you look at the pieces, what is going to be the calling card for them? Because Kellen Moore is somebody that he's had different quarterbacks. He's had Dak Prescott. He's had certainly Justin Herbert there in L.A., almost said San Diego, almost do that every time. He had Jalen Hurts in Philly, right? All different quarterbacks. Now, all very capable, like mobile type quarterbacks. And I know Herbert doesn't get a lot of credit for what he can do with his legs, but check out the stats. We know what Hurts can do. We know, like Dak Prescott the same way. Like we know he's athletic enough to be able to make a play with his legs. Both these quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck, I think can give you that. Tyler Shuck is the more athletic quarterback. Again, check out the tail of the tape. Check out what he did at the NFL Combine. So for all those reasons that I laid out there, the frame, the maturity, the athletic ability, the bigger arm, I do think Tyler Shuck's going to be your starting quarterback whenever we get to the end of August. And now, because of this injury, again, I already felt strongly that it was going to be a two-man race, but now I can almost guarantee you it's going to be a two-man race with Jake Haener going to be out for the rest of the offseason and try to get ready for training camp there for the Saints. All right, we will take our final break of the show. We're going to end it like we do every single day with Ask the Bench right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to centralplumbing.org. Centralplumbing.org is the website, and you can check out what they can do for you in an emergency, and we'll get there. But check out the tankless water heater. And we talk about it often, but really, if you're like me and like our family, and you're always getting home late from the ball field, from dance, whatever it might be. All right, well, you still got to shower. You still got to maybe do some laundry. You got to do the dishes from dinner. And if you don't have a tankless water heater, you got to kind of wait and pick and choose. Look, we got a big family. We got 7 of us, right? So, we need hot water, and we need to be able to do all those other things. Well, if you go tankless, you'll never run out of hot water. Literally, the entire, everybody can shower. Dishes, laundry, does not matter. Central Plumbing can give that to you, right? So go to the homepage, centralplumbing.org, check that out. And always, as you know, 24/7 emergency service, 225-925-8552.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. One final segment here on a Thursday morning OTB. It is time for Ask the Bench. How far back did these go? Okay, I got some. Why not let Alondra co-host till Flynn starts full time? If you haven't heard, I've been leaning on Alondra a lot. She's had to open that microphone up a lot. She's done a great job putting stuff in the doc, and Alondra knows, as I've said it, and I'll continue to say it until Flynn starts. This is a 4-member show now. This is not just a 2-member show. This is a 4-member show. I trust me when I say I want Dear Alondra to be a segment more than Alondra does.
Probably so, yeah.
Because I can get fully behind some Delilah. I mean, she plays some bangers.
She does.
I mean, sometimes she'll go back to the well a little bit too much with some predictable ones. Wind Beneath My Wings plays way too much on Delilah.
That is.
I mean, it's her go-to.
Yeah.
She always plays that one. But
I don't think you ever really need to play it.
I don't either. That's not a great song. But no, we want Dear Alondra to have multiple segments, whatever she wants. Again, she's part of the 4.
I have this complex that nobody really wants to hear what I have to say.
I don't think that's true. I mean, you can tell by the Bayou 4 chat. Even if it was, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
It's our show, so.
True.
They go fly a kite. Ask the Bench, would the new OTB consider having a listener meet and greet? Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's funny, Nick, that you mentioned that. I've been working on something, and then the whole T-Bob stuff happened, and it kind of derailed the plan. We were going to rent out Elite, our facility over on Burbank, and have a meet and greet, watch an LSU away game, have the inflatable blow-up screen and watch that. But they, again, look, the stuff with T-Bob went down, and everybody turned crazy busy trying to figure out what the next steps were for everybody. But LSU's going to be hosting
some
regional, super regional, hopefully. If they make it to Omaha, we'll do that. All right. So we'll cater some food, have a very reasonable, maybe get in, for the meet and greet, and maybe I can have a little fundraiser for our foundation, and everybody wins. But no, we would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about doing that for a while, but again, things got derailed.
He threw a wrench. He threw a wrench in so many plans.
Yeah, because actually, the initial date that I looked at was South Carolina game. It'll be fun, kind of low pressure, Coach Maneri angle. We'll have a meet and greet, invite, 100 people or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, T-Bob, it's your fault. You did.
Maybe Dos Equis can.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Ask the Bench, would you settle for a Piccadilly hamburger steak? You never settle for Piccadilly. You are fortunate to eat Piccadilly. I would.
Absolutely.
A Piccadilly hamburger steak would finish the bet between me and Hunt Palmer. Now, he's got to give me sides as well. I need carrot souffle. I need fried okra. And you're springing for a third side. I need some green beans. So, yeah, Hunt, if you're still listening, I'll take Piccadilly. It can be to go as well, in a styrofoam. I don't care.
Is that where we're going to go for our OTB outing that Flynn was like?
Oh, absolutely we are. I went there for my birthday. Again, I've been at least 25 years I've been to Piccadilly on my birthday.
Yeah.
Cassie, don't give me that look. It's fantastic. Ask the Bench, favorite song to dance to at a bar or event? Carry Out by Justin Timberlake and Timberland.
This one's pretty good.
This is good.
I don't know. That's a good question, though.
Yeah.
I'll dance to anything.
Yeah.
Don't let some Bad Bunny come on.
I don't know Bad Bunny, but yeah, sure. I'm
Don't let
always
some
down.
Bad Bunny come down.
Yeah, I'm always down.
Yeah.
Cassie?
I like a good line dance. I don't
Ooh.
necessarily have
okay.
A little Copperhead Road.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Copperhead.
All right.
Footloose. I love Footloose.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Every white person in the world, when they hear Footloose, thinks they're playing it for them.
Club and just line dancing. It's my
Okay.
favorite thing ever.
All right. Wasn't expecting that, but well done. Ask the Bench, what will Flynn's recurring non-sports segment be? We're working on that now. Ask the Bench, favorite and least favorite workout exercise. My favorite squats.
Yeah.
My least favorite is probably going to be step-ups. I hated step-ups.
I love anything leg. I hate their bat wing chest supported rows where you have one up and then you're rowing with the other, and those are pretty brutal.
Yeah, Cassie, you got like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I hate anything tricep.
There you go. We'll see you tomorrow.
Off the bench.
I wasn't expecting that. That was a good answer, though. Like most people go legs. That is not this show. We don't skip leg day here on this show.
Just Tay-Tay.
All right. Oh, yeah. He definitely feels like somebody that goes in and does like dumbbell bench and curls. And that's it. I bet Tay-Tay hadn't been under a squat rack in a decade.
Right.
He would, though, if he went to yourgoodwood.com, he would have the energy and he would have the you-know-what to get under a squat rack, okay? So you go to yourgoodwood.com, find a full list of services they can help you out with. It is right there on the homepage, but that's not all they do. So if you don't see it, give them a call. Tell them what you're dealing with. They're going to make sure they get you on a path for success. 225-4GD-WOOD is the phone number. You can book your consultation online. Again, that website to get everything done is yourgoodwood.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.